Said here, Situ Lan already understood. In the vast ocean, there are many undeveloped warcraft and tribes, whose strength is very strong. What's more terrible is that if we meet them, the place to fight is underwater, which is much more difficult than fighting on land. In short, the danger level in the shallow sea is comparable to that in the depth of warcraft forest, not to mention walking back, destined to go through the deep sea. So, do you want to leave? The city lord turns around and looks at Situ Lan with beautiful eyes, expecting his answer. Situ Lan's eyes twinkled with a firm look and said, yes. My friend is waiting for me. The city lord's eyes flashed a trace of loss, and he laughed at himself. Sure enough, you still want to leave, I know you are such a person. Situ Lan's lips moved, but he didn't say anything at last. From the island to the present, the lord of his good he is very clear, but he cannot respond. Since we can't respond, we'd better not give any hope. What's more, I'm afraid I will never see you again. The city master sighed and turned his hand. A crystal clear white pearl appeared in the palm of his hand. Situ Lan's eyes were instantly attracted in the past. Just a glance, he knew that this was the bead of avoiding water from the legend. After taking the bead from the city master, Situ Lan is preparing to put it into his personal space. But I heard the Lord suddenly say, this thing must be worn on the body to be effective. If it is damaged, it will be discounted. If it is destroyed, it will have no effect. Situ Lan was surprised in the heart and nodded solemnly, wearing the water-avoiding bead carefully on his body. Thank you for your gift. I'll see you later. Situ Lan said, arched his hand to the city master, and turned to leave. Goodbye. In fact, I will never see you again. The city lord looked at Situ Lan's back and whispered sound into Situ Lan's ears, but did not let his feet stop half a minute. In the desert, Chi Yi's fell to the ground weakly, his lips dried up, his clothes were cut and there were many wounds on his body, and even some wounds had black blood flowing out. It's really a sand scorpion. It's so hard to deal with. Chi Knight corner of the mouth raises a smile, looking at nearby scattered pieces of sand scorpion body, weak said. The venom spread not fast, but let Chi Knight lost the ability of action. In the desert, there is no way to detoxify. What's more, she has no strength to move now. I'm afraid today, she can't leave here anymore. I'm not reconciled. Chi Yi's lowered his head, looked at the spreading black on his body, and murmured, I haven't found you yet. I don't know what happened to you. Chi Knight's voice is getting smaller and smaller, and finally a sense of vertigo strikes, making her feel like she's going to sleep at any time. Gradually blurred vision, until the ground cannot see the body of sand scorpion, and finally heavy toward the ground fell down. This time, I left completely. Before fainting, Chi Yi's thought in her heart. In the swamp, Shangguan carefully hid behind the lush grass, and looked at a strange-looking warcraft not far away. His mouth water was about to flow out. I've been in this ghost place for so long, and finally let me see a bigger warcraft. If I don't catch you, I'll have a good meal. The Shangguan said, holding the weapon tightly. In the swamp, the most common poisons are all kinds of poisons, and the best ones are sneak attack and use poisons. Moreover, due to the small size, the Shangguan has never had a chance to eat meat well. He has been impatient for a long time, and suffered serious physical and mental suffering. In recent days, there are no more shrubs around, but some tall trees, less and less marshes, and more compact land, which means that Shangguan has gone from marshes to forests. According to past experience, Shangguan knew that he was going in the right direction. He was afraid that he would not lack food next. Now, I finally saw the first strong warcraft, how can I let it go easily? Dear, I won't hurt you. Come here a little more. Shangguan prayed in his heart. His long fight with poisons led to some changes in his fighting habits, especially when hunting for food, which made him more aware of the importance of hiding. Moo! Warcraft let out a cry, like looking for food, slowly leaning towards the direction of Shangguan, did not notice the imminent danger. Right now. As soon as Shangguan's eyes brightened, the warcraft had turned away from him. Shangguan rushed out directly, and the weapon in his hand chopped at the Warcraft head. Moo dash, the scream of Warcraft resounded, startled a piece of birds in the surrounding trees, as if in great pain. Shangguan jumped to its back at the same time, then the pain of rolling up. Shangguan tightly grasped the corner of Warcraft's head to keep himself from falling down. At the same time, he was looking for the weakness of Warcraft and was ready to attack at any time. All of a sudden, the rolling Warcraft showed a little flaw. Shangguan showed no mercy. He turned his hand and wiped the Warcraft's neck directly. A scream rang out and the Warcraft fell to the ground heavily. Well? I thought I could fight. It turned out to be a cub. It died in a moment. Shangguan then found out that it was a Warcraft. It seemed that it was an underage Warcraft. He immediately scratched his head. But it's okay. Let's have a baby. It's tender. Hee hee. With that, Shangguan started to pick up the little beast. Although it's a cub, it's bigger than an adult cow. It's troublesome to clean up, but Shangguan enjoys it. It's big enough for me to eat for a long time. I really made money this time. I think there will be a lot of delicious food in the future. Totally immersed in the joy of picking up the food, Shangguan didn't find that somewhere behind him, an adult Warcraft was getting closer and closer, and a pair of beasts seemed to have fire in their eyes. On the other side, human beings. Several bloodthirsty eyes of blood corpses glared at the wood Xiuming and the little stink standing in front of them, gritting their teeth. And the summoner? Another blood corpse's sharp eyes saw the identity of little stink. Are you the human who has been killing our blood corpses? Mu Xiuming's eyes flashed a clear emotion. Is these blood corpses? Will he as Cloud dance? People who have been killing blood corpses. They're not even the same sex, okay? Are these blood corpses blind? No, not him. Another blood corpse said, the human who killed our fellow is a woman. They should be partners. There must be people around here. Are you mistaken? Mu Xiuming finally said, where do you see people here? At this time, they were at a corner of the passage, so the blood corpses didn't find the figure of Cloud dance, but as long as they passed the corner behind Mu Xiuming, they would find the Cloud dance in the serious injury. The strength of these blood corpses is not weak, but also a large number of people. If you really fight in front of Yunwu, it will hurt Yunwu, so no matter what, you can't let them find the existence of Yunwu. Well, who cares? Since you are here, you must have blocked the loophole. You're all with the people out there. The Blood Corpse King said viciously, in this case, don't blame us for being rude. Give it to me. Kill them. Yes, the blood corpses answered the voice together. In the narrow space, the speed did not decrease at all. They rushed to Mu Xiuming quickly. Mu Xiuming showed no sign of weakness. A long sword appeared in Mu Xiuming's hand. Looking at the blood corpse, his eyes were filled with cold, and his hands were merciless. The space is narrow, and the little stink can't be turned into Numenon at all, but the action is also unambiguous. As a summoner of Cloud Dance, his realm is the same as that of Cloud Dance. How can he not beat these blood corpses? Small stinky hands into sharp claws, between the sharp pan cold light. Although it can't be turned into Numenon, it's okay to make a part of the body become animal. The sharp claw is no less than the weapon of Mu Xiuming. You know, the best weapons are all made of a part of the body of Warcraft. How can the advanced Warcraft compare with the claws of pure blood demon Huang? Phoenix. Blood corpses also have extraordinary insight. See small stinky animal claw light out, suddenly someone's sharp eyes to see the small stinky body. But even so, they dare not delay. As time goes on, more and more of them become human. What changes with it is their strength. The more they tend to be human, the less their ability to belong to blood corpses will be, and the weaker they will be. Therefore, in any case, they should seize all the time to deal with these two people, otherwise the chance of victory will only be smaller and smaller. No matter what phoenix or chicken, I'll kill them all. Blood Corpse King also saw the race of Small Stink, but still domineering said. This word fell in the ear of Small Stink, instantly ignited the anger of pure blood demon Huang. You are the chicken. I can't even recognize my noble blood. I'm blind. Damn it, I have to destroy you. Pure blood demon Huang's dignity can't be violated, small stinky clean holding a pair of claws to the blood corpses. Every time the claws collided with the blood corpse's weapon, a flash of fire would appear, and the sound of bang and bang would sound like a metal collision. Even if we were dealing with several blood corpses at the same time, we still didn't fall behind. Hello. Be careful, they should all have their own special effects. Mu Xiuming didn't know the name of Xiao Chou, so he had to shout, hello, and he was worried. Looking at Xiao Smelly's angry appearance, I'm worried that he's in a mess. I see. Little Stink grunted. Although he didn't like him to call himself that, he really didn't want him to know that his name was Xiao Chou. He would rather the man in black clothes call himself hello. Anyway, he didn't know his name either. More than a dozen figures stand together, although there is no dazzling brilliance, but everywhere is full of danger. It's like a fight between martial arts experts. In this narrow space, everyone's ability of close combat has been brought into full play. The sound of sonorous resounds through the secret road, just like the clank of thousands of horses, which is extremely dangerous. How can these blood corpses be completely different from those before? Small Stinky frowned and said, can't reveal the body, for his strength greatly discount. Therefore, it was very difficult to deal with these blood corpses. After taking a breath, he immediately began to complain. The former blood corpse. A blood corpse sneered, our blood corpse clan can be divided into several levels. How can those low-level blood corpses compare with us? Said here, the blood corpse's eyes flashed a touch of pride. In the blood corpse clan, their status is comparable to that of emperors and generals in the world. They are superior and naturally do not want to be associated with those low-level blood corpses. But now this scene, and then make such expressions, will only let the little Stink feel very disgusted. Cut, say as if you are very noble, anyway, are all blood corpses, in the end is not the same as destroyed. Little Stinky said with a sneer, with deep contempt in his eyes. You the bloody corpse was enraged instantly, and the pupil color that had recovered turned red again, as if he had been greatly humiliated. However, Little Stink is still not going to let go. What are you doing? Is that right? All blood corpses are the same abominable, so pay attention to the whole clan being destroyed. After today, even if you hide here, you will be found and found out. Ah! Blood corpse shrieks, the big knife on the hand looks to the small Stink crazily. The shrill voice was very sharp, go to die. Hateful human beings. It's all you. It's all you. The blood corpses attacked even more fiercely, as if they could return to their former glory as long as they killed Xiao Chou and Xiao Chou, but they forgot that they did not treat themselves as human beings when they said this. Be careful. A bloody corpse attacked from behind. Mu Xiuming noticed it with sharp eyes. He was in a flash. Regardless of the fact that there were several blood corpses on his side, he quickly stepped forward and went up with the sword in his hand. With a bang, Mu Xiuming stepped back. At the same time, the other attacks behind him had already arrived, and Mu Xiuming quickly dodged the past, which could be avoided. The bloody corpse who attacked Xiao Stink failed in one attack, and then he cut it off to Xia Stink's shoulder. Xiao Stink turned around and grabbed it with cold claws. With a bang, the weapon of the bloody corpse was cut in two. It's a weapon made of excellent rhinoceros horn. How can you? The blood corpse looks at the upper part of the hand to become the weapon of two half, not from of a burst of heartache. At the beginning, he wasted a lot of energy in order to get this weapon. He thought he could accompany him for a long time, but he didn't expect that he was just split by Little Stink. Rhinoceros horn. Cut, is that great? Small Stinky one face disdains of say, lifted to lift own claw, this emperor's claw is the most fierce. Little Stinky words haven't finished, one side suddenly a fire whip pocket head split down. I've been with Cloud Dance for a long time, and I'm a Warcraft of fire attribute, so I'm very sensitive to fire attribute. Phew. As soon as he twisted, he flashed to one side before the whip fell. He turned to look at the bloody corpse with the whip. Her face was red and white, but her eyes were very beautiful. What do you love about weapons now? Kill him, take his paws and make a better weapon. The female blood corpse said a word, immediately let the blood corpse of before play spirit. Good. Take the phoenix's paw as a weapon, blood corpse strange said with a smile, looking at the small stinky eyes very unfriendly. Small smelly eyes slightly heavy, coldly said, want to take my paw as a weapon? It also depends on whether you have the ability. After that, he rushed forward again and fought with the blood corpses. At Mu Xiuming on the other side, a long sword swung fast. Although there was no summoner to help, the melee skill that could draw with Yunwu was not bad. It's natural to deal with these blood corpses. From time to time, we should also pay attention to whether there are blood corpses going deep into the secret passage. We should also pay attention to whether the little stink is busy. By the way, we can give a voice to remind them twice, looking at the overall situation. There are 10 blood corpses, each of which is the strongest expert in the Blood Corpse clan, including the Blood Corpse King. Each of them was faced with 5 blood corpses. At the beginning, they had some difficulty, but the more they got to the back, they felt comfortable. They both thought it was just because they knew how to attack effectively and didn't notice anything. The blood corpses were more and more difficult, and there were many wounds on them gradually. Although it's not fatal, it's very hard for them who have felt pain for many years, because the pain on their body makes their actions dull. Finally, the sword passed over the neck of a bloody corpse. Puff, the blood spurted out, a blood corpse heavily fell on the ground, can no longer recover, and the red and white body, also in an instant back to the human body. Yu the Blood Corpse King stares at Mu Xiuming fiercely, with incomparable anger in his heart. These are the last blood corpses of the Blood Corpse clan. I thought I could kill these 2 people without any effort, but I didn't expect that I would die in their hands so soon. What's the matter? Mu Xiuming opened his eyes innocently and asked, can't you do it? It's just a contest. A contest? Then why do you have to kill me? I thought I could kill it. Mu Xiuming looked innocent, as if he was just a child who did something wrong, but he vomited the blood directly. They were just angry for a moment. They felt sorry for the death of a bloody corpse, but this Mu Xiuming said it directly. Well. Don't be proud of yourself, the Blood Corpse King hums coldly and says to Mu Xiuming, it's just a blood corpse. It's too early for you to win. After that, the weapon in his hand hit Mu Xiuming again. Mu Xiuming dodged to one side with a flash of his body. At the same time, he picked the long sword lightly in his hand and resolved all the successive attacks. I can't do it. The more you fight, the braver you are. Why are you all getting older and weaker? Is that true of all blood corpses? Or are you the only ones? Have you been a high-level member of the Blood Corpse clan for too long? Mu Xiuming said with a smile, it didn't look like a fight at all. The speaker has no intention, the listener has intention. Listen to Mu Xiuming say such words, several blood corpses in the presence of the heart at the same time, clatter, a sound, like his secret was found in general. At the same time, the first thought that surged into my heart was not guilty, but, this person, must die. Ah! Bloody corpse. How long has it been since you brushed your teeth? It stinks, small stink a shout, frowned to say. The bloody corpse opened its mouth to him, as if it wanted to eat him. Phoenix blood, if you can drink it, are you worried about the lack of energy? But before the blood corpse came near, little Stink asked about the stench in the blood corpse's mouth. Now he kicked him out mercilessly and left a word of disgust. The bloody corpse screamed miserably, and was directly kicked out by this kick. It hit the wall of the secret road heavily, and then fell to the ground heavily. Well, what a dirty race. Small Stink disgusted said, but suddenly feel kick people also quite cool, and even some eager to try. The blood corpse people always eat raw meat and drink blood, and they never wash their teeth. Naturally, they have bad breath, but no one dares to say it. When human beings are afraid, Who will pay attention to halitosis? It's just a little stink, because a blood-sucking corpse directly speaks out halitosis. Stinking phoenix. Don't be too proud. Say we have bad breath. I think you are the smelliest. Another bloody corpse said viciously. Then directly rushed up, the weapon on the hand to the small stinky head directly cut up. Little Stinky didn't bother to pay attention to him. He twisted his body, looked for a tricky angle, kicked hard, and kicked a bloody corpse out again. Do I stink the most? You can't smell it. Little Stinky said haughtily. The blood corpses gnash their teeth and rush up one by one. The little stink kicks off one by one. After kicking off, he rushes up again. It's a lot of fun. I'll kick you to death. Small Stink deftly dodged an attack, raised his foot and kicked the blood corpse's stomach, but as soon as he kicked out, he heard Mu Xiuming's voice. Hello. No, Mu Xiuming cried in panic. The direction of flying out was the depth of the secret road. However, it's too late. Little Stink has a good time. Why can't he kick it? He directly kicked the blood corpse to the depth of the secret road, until the blood corpse landed. He suddenly realized that he was in trouble. Small Stink quickly wanted to rush up, but behind a fire whip attack again. Small Stink in the heart anew, to that female blood corpse horizontal eyebrow cold shout away, got a fire whip to be great. I think it's very powerful, right? I'll let you know whose fire is more serious now. Having said that, a small touch of pure yang directly spit out from the mouth, although only a wisp, but instantly will be filled with hot air in the secret road. What is this? Several blood corpses felt the temperature of the fire and cried out in shock. Small Stink ignored them, leaving a touch of pure yang, then directly toward the depths of the rush. There's another one here. The blood corpse who was kicked out was dizzy. If it was brought back immediately, it would not be so. However, it's a pity that both Mu Xiuming and Xiao Chou are caught in action. When Xiao Chou comes here, the blood corpse has found the existence of cloud dance. Small Stinky face a sink, directly rushed forward, beast claw a wave, directly cut off the blood corpse's neck. With a puff sound, blood gushed out and dyed the mountain wall of the secret road red. Mu Xiuming's face is also very, this phoenix, how don't you know to pay attention to it? Oh. And humans? After hearing this, the king of blood corpse did not rush to attack. As soon as he withdrew, he watched Mu Xiuming being entangled by other blood corpses and said, it seems that that person is what you want to protect. What's wrong with her? Is it hurt? Or a breakthrough? Are you all protecting the law for her? Afraid she'll be disturbed. Every time the king of blood corpse said a word, Mu Xiuming's face sank, because what the king of blood corpse said was right. Hey, I'm really curious. Why don't I go and have a look? Said, the blood corpse king's figure moves, flies directly toward inside. I see who can pass. Small Stink a roar, is he creates the disaster, by him to carry. Red as blood flame from the body, Small Stink cold looking at the rushing blood corpse king, the flame under his control into a wall of fire, directly bet on the secret road thoroughly. The scorching high temperature announced the difficulty of the flame. If it wasn't for the Small Stink's intentional control, I was afraid that the stones in the secret passage would melt. Want to go? Sure. As long as you are not afraid of being turned into a roast pig, Little Stink said coldly, with a serious look on his face. It seems that Xiao Chou, who is coquettish to Yunwu in peacetime, is not a person at all. At this time, he seems to be back to the pure blood demon Huang who was in the Phoenix family, shouldering heavy responsibilities and extremely important. Blood corpse king brow jump, that flame just looking at then very fierce. But even so, intuition tells him that the people in the deep are their only chance to win. If they can't pass, then they are doomed to lose here. But it's obviously impossible to break through, you have a great flame. The blood corpse king stands in front of the Little Stink, does not show any comfort, on the contrary, he says to the Little Stink. Small Stinky brow a pick, proud answer, do you say? The Blood Corpse King's heart sank, but he didn't believe it on his face. He said coldly, I don't think so. All the blood corpses are entangled with Mu Xiuming, so that he can't come to help, but in the face of a little stinky phoenix, the Blood Corpse King feels that he always has some chances of winning. Not so good. Small stink this time, but not be deceived, that you beat me first, just have the qualification to try in the end, fierce not fierce. Having said that, a pair of claws directly raised, toward the Blood Corpse King rushed up. In the face of the Blood Corpse King, the pressure of the little stink suddenly reduced a lot, even if the Blood Corpse King's strength is much higher than other blood corpses, but it is also easier than dealing with smart blood corpses. The King of the Blood Corpse rushed up fearlessly. He saw a lot of the fight between the little stink and the blood corpse just now. Seeing that Xiao Smelly hadn't even won a bloody corpse for a long time, he thought that his strength was not so good, and he was so garrulous that he certainly had no ability. But did not expect, two people on a pair, Small Stink even directly occupy the upper hand. The Blood Corpse King wanted to cry without tears, but he had to fight hard. He looked at the wall of fire from time to time, and his body became weaker and weaker. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid he will die directly in the hands of Little Stinky without waiting for him to cross the wall of fire. The King of Blood? I thought it was very powerful. That's all Little Stinky said with a sneer. Even if it is so arrogant and delicate to say, the face is no longer the previous childish. Blood Corpse King's face is very ugly, but also know that Little Stink is telling the truth. Now his strength is only half of the heyday, and is still declining. How could it be so powerful? But this must not be said, even if the other party finds something, they cannot say it, otherwise, what if they fight a protracted war? For today's sake, we still need to find out the people behind the wall of fire. Blood Corpse King in the mind of idea continuously move, on the face of a pair of high cold appearance, don't talk more with Small Stink. Well? Didn't you talk a lot just now? Why don't you talk now? Are you tired? Little Stinky Mouth raised a smile and said to the Blood Corpse King, a friendly look. The Blood Corpse King's face was instantly gloomy. Seeing the strength getting worse and worse, finally, the King of Blood Corpse decided to wait. If you wait any longer, you can't find a way to break through the wall of fire. You'd better rush in directly. If you can't rush in, you'll die. But if you don't rush in, you'll die. Maybe you've passed. So think, Blood Corpse King. A twist body, broke away from the Small Stink of entanglement, directly toward the wall of fire. Small Stink originally wanted to continue to chase, but a look at the direction of the Blood Corpse King, immediately holding his arm, ready to stay in place to watch him. Want to go through Pure Yang? It seems that the Blood Corpse King is impatient. The King of Blood Corpse only focuses on running to the fire. Where can he notice the reaction of the little stink behind him? When he ran to the front of the fire wall and felt the hot breath on the fire wall, the Blood Corpse King had some hesitation in his heart. But now, how can we still hesitate? At present, the Blood Corpse King's heart, a Ruthless, will directly drill into. But right here, the bloody wall of fire suddenly moved. Not far behind, Xiao Chou looks at Hu Qiang with surprise, but Mu Xiuming, whose back is opposite, can't see Xiao Chou's reaction. As soon as he saw the wall of fire, he thought it was the little stink that had made a mistake again. He cried out, "Hello! Stop him! What are you doing standing up for?" This words immediately got Small Stinky white eyes. Does the power of his pure yang still need to be questioned? But hearing this, the King of the Blood Corpse thought it was a mistake. He immediately exclaimed, "Heaven helps me too," and then he went in. Instantly submerged in the glory of blood red. The wall of fire also vibrated in an instant, turning into a whirlpool of fire and closing towards the middle. "Damn it!" Mu Xiuming cried out. He even killed the two blood corpses in his hands, but the last two didn't have the heart to deal with them, so he rushed directly to Xiao Smelly. "I asked you to stop him, why don't you stop him? Don't go after it." After that, he rushed straight inside. But just stepped out a step, but abruptly stopped, as if to see the ghost like standing there. I saw that the flame whirlpool finally condensed to a slender white palm, turned into a wisp of flame, flashing and beating. And on her other palm, just like an eagle catching a chicken, she was carrying a blood corpse king in a mess. Yunwoo's face was ruddy, and he couldn't see the appearance of the injury before, but his breath was a little unsteady. But this kind of instability is more like the instability of strength. Progress has not yet been consolidated, a face full of cold look, and the hand that is extremely embarrassed. Blood corpse king has become a sharp contrast. Then, as soon as Yunwoo throws it away, he throws the king of blood corpse into Mu Xiuming's hand, and the pure Yang Yen on the other hand to Xiao Chou. Then he comes over. Xiao Smelly happily took over and rushed to Yunwoo. Ma. Just now the serious appearance disappeared, and became the big child who would act coquettishly. Ma, are you all right? That's great. We're all worried that Smelly Man said that you might become a useless person. What a quack! Little Stink points to Mu Xiuming and says to Yunwoo. Cloud Dance mouth a hook, obviously in a good mood, but now is not the time to speak. Looking up at the two figures on the other side who were ready to escape, the voice of Cloud Dance sounded in the secret road. Since you are here, you don't have to think about leaving. 2 blood corpses, 1 step. I was going to leave secretly, but I didn't expect that I could be found so easily. It's not good to go or not. The 2 blood corpses looked at each other and saw fear in each other's eyes. At the moment, one voice said, "Go." Then, like an arrow straight out. Cloud Dance mouth light hook, I cold meaning a flash, but very indifferent said, "Who are you going?" I'll go. Small smelly smell and would repair bright 2 people each should a double outward fly. In the twinkling of an eye, the 2 figures disappeared in the secret road. Cloud Dance squints at the king of the blood corpse, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. That smile, unexpectedly let blood corpse king see in the heart hair, don't know what idea she hit. What do you want to do? Most of the blood corpse king has now recovered to the human appearance, and his face has been recovered for a long time. If it wasn't for Yunwoo to know his identity and feel the residual breath on him, otherwise it would not have been detected at all. Just suddenly. Why? Cloud Dance eyes discovered the blood corpse king's strange place, can't help but open mouth to ask away. You poor is very special, unexpectedly can also change back to human. Blood corpse king hears speech, facial expression a change, cold turn head to go. I am originally human, again change back again, what's strange? You cut off the energy source of our blood corpse clan, so naturally we can only change back. Can blood corpses return to humans? Is that the advantage of advanced blood corpse? However, if we can really become human beings, then why do we want to make people ghosts? Yunwoo thought about it thoughtfully, so it is possible for those people she saved at the bottom of the pool to change back? Just thinking, the 2 men who had just disappeared came back with a blood corpse in each hand. The 2 blood corpses had less energy in their bodies than the king of blood corpses, so now they have completely become human beings. Mama, we've got them all back. What do you think we should do? Small Stink complacently said, as if to ask for credit in general. Cloud Dance's eyes looked at the 3 people, saw the changes of the 2 blood corpses, and then looked at the blood corpse king, and he understood. In fact, not all blood corpses can become human. But these are not the things she should care about. I ask you, is there a woman in the blood corpse clan who looks very similar to me? As soon as Yunwoo's words fell, Mu Xiuming was stunned. Until now, he seemed to know why Yunwoo came to the blood corpse clan just to find someone. A woman very similar to her. Isn't it a sister? The king of blood corpse was immediately depressed. He quickly said, the blood corpse clan catches a lot of women every year. We can't remember, and even if there are, they may have died in the war outside. The implication is that if Yunwoo wants to find someone, it should not destroy the blood corpse clan. Cloud Dance sneer, she wants to find someone, how can not be prepared in advance? Let's not talk about the extraordinary strength of Dragon Qingxia, let's not talk about whether these blood corpses can arrest them. Just from the time of disappearance, if they are turned into blood corpses, it will take a long time. But at the bottom of the pool, Yunwu didn't find them, so it can be concluded that they must not be in the Blood Corpse clan. And she has never met a woman who looks similar to her all the way. Xueyin's wife must not be immortal. Since they are captured by the Blood Corpse clan, they must be of other use. Even if they are not middle use, the strength of the blood corpses will not be those low-level blood corpses outside. Therefore, she can be sure that Xueyin's wife is destined to be in other places, and only those who know these are the blood corpses in front of her. Not really. Cloud Dance narrowed her eyes and said, originally, I wanted to give you another chance. If any of you said that, I would secretly release you. As long as you are human, you will not be found as long as you get out of the blood corpse field, but you just don't say it, so don't blame me. However, the words have not yet come down. I said. Blood Corpse King listened to have a way to live, quickly can't wait to say, for fear that said late Cloud Dance will kill them. Originally, they were fighting against each other, no matter win or lose, they would die in the end. They are greedy for life and afraid of death, otherwise they would not be so greedy, and the dark energy would turn into blood corpses. Now it gives them a way to live. In order to survive, they can do whatever they want. He said. Cloud Dance voice says coldly. That woman, I remember, is still alive, hidden in a secret room. The Blood Corpse King says in a hurry. It was originally the next Blood Corpse King I chose, but I don't know why. Although I succeeded in becoming a blood corpse, I didn't wake up all the time. Cloud Dance in the eyes flashed a touch of undercurrent, did not expect to be really found by her, this blood corpse really did not come in vain. What are you doing? Now take us there. Little Stink put his foot on the Blood Corpse King's shoulder and said coldly. People under the eaves have to bow their heads. The Blood Corpse King didn't dare to resist and quickly got up from the ground, but his face was in a dilemma. That the war outside must have come to an end. Over the years, our blood corpses have robbed many good things. Those people are bound to enter the mountain palace. If there is no accident, I'm afraid I'll find it here. Blood Corpse King's words revealed a touch of worry, if those people found, but a dead end. Yunwu naturally recognized the meaning of his words, so he said, don't worry, I will protect you. As soon as the words came out, the King of Blood Corpse was grateful and left the secret road with Cloud Dance. After half a pillar of incense, several people returned to the room full of runes. This time, all the runes turned white, and only the top 4 were still black. 3 of them are the 3 blood corpses in front of them, and one of them is Xueyin's wife. At this time, the 4 runes are slowly disappearing, which means that 3 blood corpses are becoming human beings. Although she hasn't woken up all the time, she is still alive just by reading this rune, so she is still sending energy. The Blood Corpse King saw Cloud Dance's eyes looking at the rune, and then he consciously explained. Cloud Dance nodded, motioned Blood Corpse King to continue to lead the way. The King of Blood Corpse made a point in the gap between several runes. Suddenly, a flash door opened beside the black pool. The cloud dances a few people to stretch ahead to see, inside a piece of white boundless, a white ice and snow make of stairs, slanting eyes down. It's down here. The Blood Corpse King walked up to the cloud dance and said, we have already said, can we let us go? Want to go now? Is it too early? Mu Xiuming directly blocked behind the Blood Corpse King and said with a smile, you take us to find people and don't leave with us. Do you think you can escape those encirclement outside? As soon as the Blood Corpse King's face changed, he just thought about whether Yunwu would take him according to his promise. For fear of Yunwu's repentance, he put it forward so early. Now when Mu Xiuming said it, he remembered that those people outside were still searching for people. Cloud Dance a cold smile, want to go, I don't stop. After that, they turn around and prepare to enter the secret room below with Mu Xiuming. Wait. The King of Blood Corpse cried hastily, it's very cold below. There are still some mechanisms, so I'd better lead the way. The cloud dances to smile, not to smile of looking at him. The blood corpse Wang Dun has no ground to self-respect, know oneself that careful thought all was seen out. There was no doubt that even if he did not lead the way, there would be no danger for these people to go down. But at the thought of Fang Saimu Xiuming, he did not dare to leave by himself. Oh. Have you figured it out? I said, you can't leave alone. You'd better come down with us. Mu Xiuming didn't dislike big things when he was watching. He laughed several times, as if he had a good relationship with the Blood Corpse King. The Blood Corpse King's face was red, but he didn't say much. This time he learned to be smart, and knew that in front of Mu Xiuming, no matter what he said, he would be choked back, so he obediently walked in front and led the way. And the other two have changed back to human blood corpse, also quickly follow. Into the Chamber of Secrets, a cold oncoming. Yunwu is not afraid of the circulation of fire elements. As a fire warcraft, Xiaoqiu doesn't like this place, but it's not uncomfortable to have pure Yang Yan protection. Yunwu looks at Mu Xiuming, only to find that he is not different at all. He can't help feeling strange. Who is this man in black clothes? So far, no name has been revealed. The only thing I know is that his surname is Mu. Before, some blood corpses called him Mu Xiaozhu. Follow yourself all the way, from the top of the volcano to the blood corpse, no matter it's hot or cold. Although he said that he came to the blood corpse site to find precious herbs, this can only deceive ordinary people. Will pure digging herbs follow her all the time? However, since the man in Xuani didn't want to say it, Yunwu naturally wouldn't take the initiative to ask. But after solving these problems, he still kept it a secret. She really can't leave an unidentified person around. Here it is. Blood Corpse King's voice rings out, interrupted Cloud Dance in the heart of Ponder. I see here is a small chamber of secrets. I don't know what means are used in the Chamber of Secrets. It's like a place of extreme north, with ice and snow everywhere. There was nothing in the secret room, only a cold jade bed in the middle, on which lay a red blood corpse. Cloud Dances see that cold jade bed, the first reaction unexpectedly think of can use to cultivate, then just look at the person who get up. Ma, she looks like you, but she is too red and ugly. Small Stink has long been up, lying on the edge of the bed, looking at the person lying on the bed, turning around, looking at Yunwu and the person on the bed. Cloud Dance a burst of helpless, now the person on the bed or the appearance of blood corpse, how can not be red? When she becomes human, I'm afraid she's also a gorgeous woman. There are 6 similarities between the eyebrows and eyes of the people on the bed and Cloud Dance, but the temperament is quite different. In her deep sleep, she looks very gentle. Her eyebrows are slightly frowning. Her eyebrows are like Dayu in the novel. Cloud Dance can imagine, if this woman opened her eyes, a pair of eyes will be what kind of smoke flow. Why? Beauty. Mu Xiuming had already expressed his emotion, and looked at her and Yunwu like Xiaoqiu. Well, it is. Little Dance, if you become a blood corpse, it must be the same. When Mu Xiuming spoke, he unconsciously changed the address into a Little Dance, as if the relationship between them had become much better after a serious injury. Yunwu didn't mind much about this. You talk nonsense, Mama won't turn into a blood corpse. You can see that Mama has nothing to do in that pool. Little Stink stares at Mu Xiuming and says, besides, how ugly it is to become a bloody corpse. Mama won't change. I'm just making an analogy. Mu Xiuming rolled his eyes and said. No analogy. Don't allow others to use that metaphor on him. The two quarreled again. Yunwu is not surprised by this. Anyway, Hongling didn't come out. He is the only one who can fight with Xiaoqiu. What's more, from the first time they met, Xiao Stinky was not pleased to see him, so he was not pleased to see him. Anyway, it's just a noise, and it won't fight. Cloud Dance will lie on the edge of the ice bed on the small Stink to one side, turned to the Xuani man said, can you see what's the matter with her? When Mu Xiuming heard Yunwu's question, he immediately stopped quarreling with Xiaoqiu and said with a smile, there is no disease in the world that I can't see the cause. Although it's not able to cure them all, it's not difficult to see the cause. Then he went straight forward and looked down at the motionless woman lying on the bed. Cloud Dance stood aside, for these things she did not know, so she could only look at the action of the man in Xuani. I saw that Mu Xiuming raised his hand to hold the woman's wrist, but he didn't feel the pulse like that. Instead, while holding the wrist, he transmitted a stream of energy into the woman's body. That energy patrols around the woman's body, and feeds back the situation in the woman's body to Mu Xiuming's mind. But for a moment, Mu Xiuming felt the woman's physical condition clearly. He took back the hand that held her wrist, and there was a flash of surprise in Mu Xiuming's eyes. What's the matter? As soon as Yunwu saw his appearance, he thought it was some complicated disease and asked. She promised Xuan that she would take his wife back. If she couldn't bring back a healthy and complete woman, it would be useless. Mu Xiuming shook his head, eyes full of surprise, said, she is not sick. Cloud Dance whitey one eye, this certainly is not a disease, all said is turned into blood corpse to cause, how can be a disease? In fact, her health is nothing serious, everything is normal. Mu Xiuming then added another sentence. Now everyone became confused. Since there is nothing serious, how can you be unconscious all the time? She has never woken up since she entered the previous pool. At the beginning, we thought that she could not bear the power of the black pool and died. When we were ready to eat her, we felt that there was a strong energy in her body and could compete with the breath in the pool, so we were ready to make her the next king of the blood corpses. The blood corpse king came forward and said to several people, we had all kinds of conjectures, so we used many means to wake her up, but we failed in the end. Yunwu glances at the blood corpse king lightly, as if considering the credibility of the blood corpse king's words. The blood corpse king felt guilty and said, because we want her to be the next blood corpse king, we didn't hurt her body, so. Blood corpse king's words Cloud Dance a few people all understand is what meaning, but is to say can't wake up is not their reason just. Mu Xiuming naturally understood the meaning of the blood corpse king, but he didn't pay attention at all. He turned to Cloud Dance and said, I think the reason why she didn't wake up is that she didn't want to wake up, so she used all the energy in her body to resist the black energy, which made her fall into a deep sleep. The more black energy is supplied, the more she consumes and sleeps. Until at last, the power in her body is exhausted and can't be replenished. At that time, she will never wake up again. As soon as Mu Xiuming's words were finished, Cloud Dance moved in his heart. According to Xuan, this woman is only afraid to be brought for some days, that is to say, she has been like this since she was taken away, the ice on her. Cloud Dance at the moment facial expression a sink, direct command way. The woman's whole body was locked in the ice, and the black energy was locked in it. Even without the continuous supply of energy, it would not dissipate for a while. Yes. As soon as the words of Cloud Dance are finished, the king of blood corpse answers quickly. Then he walked around the room, knocking from time to time, as if looking for some mechanism. After a long time, there was a sudden sound. The eyes of the king of blood corpse brightened, and the palm pressed hard at the place where it touched. Suddenly, the light was shining. The place where the ice bed was originally placed suddenly flashed a bright red array, emitting hot heat. Fire element array. Mu Xiuming said in surprise. Fire element array, as the name suggests, is an array composed of fire elements. Such an array can only be fixed in a certain place, and it also has a fixed starting method. Therefore, it can be used regardless of whether the person who starts the array knows it or not, but often this array does not need to be used as an attack, it is only an auxiliary effect. The blood corpse king starts the array, and then comes to the Cloud Dance. Said, well, this array is embedded in the sickbed. As long as it is activated, it will soon be able to release the frozen people on it. Yunwu nodded. Several people stood quietly waiting for the ice on the woman to melt. The heat of the fire element array is only released at the moment of starting, and then only within the range of the array can there be that heat. Therefore, although Yunwu's several people were nearby, they couldn't feel anything. They just saw that the ice layer on the woman's body was slowly melting in a burst of red light, turning into water drops and flowing down from the hospital bed. With the ice getting thinner and thinner, even a trace of black energy came out of the woman's body. The black energy as like as two peas in the pool. As soon as Yunwoo saw the black energy coming out, he turned his head and looked at the little stink. Small stink immediately clear, a hand, a pure yang yen release, directly burn those black energy. It's still very hot. Blood Corpse King see a small stink again release pure yang yen, eyes can't help showing a touch of praise and fear. In fact, after his figure was covered by the light, the flame was taken back. He didn't really touch the flame. It was just that he was close to the flame and became embarrassed. It was also his fate. Otherwise, it would have been a pile of ashes. Where can we stand here and talk? Well, my fire is the most powerful. Little Stinky raised his chin with pride. Blood Corpse King Shan Shan's smile, for small stink in the heart more some fear, obediently stood aside and did not speak. Soon, the ice covering the people on the ice bed completely melted. The fire element array slowly disappears under the control of the Blood Corpse King. The black energy that appears is completely destroyed by the little stink. What's next? As soon as the array disappears, Yunwoo turns to ask the man in Xuanyi. Leave it to me. Mu Xiuming went forward and examined the woman everywhere like a doctor. Without the barrier of the ice layer, it's more convenient to check. Once again, a breath enters the woman's body, and Mu Xiuming feels it carefully. After a long time, the breath of Mu Xiuming came out after inspecting the woman's body. When he opened his eyes, Mu Xiuming showed a smile in his eyes. He walked to Yunwoo with a smile and said, "Don't worry, don't fight against those dark forces. She will recover soon, but she may not be as powerful as before. After all, so many days have consumed a lot and moved the foundation." As soon as Mu Xiuming's words were finished, Yunwoo frowned. As like as two peas, she did not promise that she was bringing the same woman back to her. But if she saw this kind of woman, what was she doing? You know, he still has what she needs. What's more, since they have been saved, it's better to send the Buddha to the west. Mu Xiuming tilted his head and thought for a moment, said, "I can help her repair the foundation, but I can only practice a little if I want to restore her strength." After getting the answer, Yunwoo finally nodded his head and said, "It's okay, I haven't finished the task." Mission? Mu Xiuming asked in surprise, waiting for Yunwoo's answer. But she didn't look like she meant it. Mu Xiuming said, "Take her out of this place first. It's too cold here. It's not conducive to recovery. Take her up there and you'll soon wake up, but you'll be a little weak." Yunwoo nodded, then called Jinling out, took the woman, and several people went out together. With the Blood Corpse King and the other two blood corpses to lead the way, this time, a few people who are familiar with the road spared the people outside and went out of the mountain palace. Along the way, those people who united to attack the bloody corpse had long forgotten their original intention. When the Blood Corpse clan was exterminated and the Beast clan withdrew, they focused on the treasures they had snatched over the years. They all rushed into the mountain palace to snatch. When they saw the valuable things, they would snatch them. The place where I have passed is like a whirlwind and clouds. I haven't left any oil and water. These abominable human beings. Blood Corpse King gnashed teeth of say, looking at oneself painstakingly build up of mountain palace, heartache of. Cloud Dance lightly looked at him one eye, "How? You didn't take those things like they did?" In a word, choking Blood Corpse Wang Dun has no words. To be a blood corpse, to have a strong power, to rob human property, to enjoy all that he can enjoy, these are indeed what he has done over the years. But when the robbed person became himself, the king of Blood Corpse always felt very uncomfortable. Get out of here. Yunwoo made a quick decision. They are human beings, and they have Mu Xiuming here. They are not afraid to meet acquaintances. What's more, those human beings have been attracted by those treasures for a long time. Seeing that they didn't mean to rob Yunwoo, they naturally ignored him. Some people who knew Mu Xiuming politely came out and yelled at him, Master Mu, that's all. They soon left the mountain palace. Near the entrance of the blood corpse place, they stopped for a rest. Cloud Dance looks at the fiery world outside the entrance, and knows that as long as you get out of the entrance, you will enter the hot environment again. I'm not afraid to have ice soul beads on my body, but if a woman doesn't wake up all the time, it's a real trouble. Can't she carry her all the way? I decided to wait until the woman woke up. A few people scattered sitting under a few trees. Cloud Dance does not speak, those blood corpses also dare not mention to leave things, had to follow with fear. And little stink, they have already gone back to their own space. I gave her the pills that I studied myself. When she wakes up, I'll practice again and recover soon. Mu Xiuming squatted beside the woman for a long time, then raised his head and said to Yunwu, if the foundation damage is not easy to cure, the difficulty lies in the need to support, and if you want to be quick, you can't reach it. You can't be in a hurry. Cloud Dance nodded. Xuanyi Man said the problem she naturally also understand, wait for her to wake up, tell her how to raise on the line. Well, it's on me. I can't be overcome by such a small problem. Mu Xiuming patted his chest and said. Just let Yunwu take such a fancy to this woman. He has to perform well. Where are we going next? Ah. Mu Xiuming excitedly asks Yunwu questions, but he doesn't imagine that Yunwu looks at him for a long time in silence, and finally spits out another answer from his mouth. It's not where we're going, it's where you're going. In the virgin forest. Shangguan happily picked up the dead warcraft. Just here, a hurricane suddenly hit from the rear. Shangguan almost instinctively flashed to the side and directly flashed the hurricane. When he turned around, he saw two huge warcraft looking at him angrily. It's a beast, but I don't know why. I can see the anger on their faces. Shangguan knew that he had just killed the little one. Now the two old ones are looking for him. But he can't help it. When he walks in the forest, he must have enough to eat. He can't stop eating in order not to provoke them, can he? Shangguan grinned and said, I'm sorry, I didn't know he was your child. Look, I just came from there. I'm really hungry. With a smile on his mouth, he followed the two warcraft to say this, no matter whether they could understand or not, his eyes were looking around the environment, looking for the escape route. Now he is tired physically and mentally, and has injuries on his body. Originally, he had some difficulty in dealing with a small warcraft. He wanted to fill his stomach and then heal his wounds. Who knows that at this time, the two big ones came. At this time, if he really fight with them, the winning rate is only half at most. There are too many dangers in the forest. Even if he wins, if he encounters danger next, he will die. In this primeval forest, he must ensure that he has this minimum ability of action, otherwise he will never see his friends again. I can't help sighing in my heart, lamenting my own fate, but at the same time, my whole body has entered a state of high alert. The two warcraft had obviously been extremely angry. The huge horns were powerful. They raised their heavy hooves and ran towards themselves. In his heart, Shangguan said that it was over. He stepped on the trees around him and jumped up. Can dodge, the officer lightly vomited a breath, black energy toward one of Warcraft's head to attack. Boom, the huge head was hit by Shangguan, but it didn't seem to cause much damage to it. However, it angered two Warcraft. Bad thing. Shangguan's face changed slightly. The two Warcraft were like two mad cows with red eyes. Roar. A roar broke the air. Shangguan felt his head humming and clenched his fists, but saw two Warcraft running towards him again. Damn it! Shangguan hastened to activate the energy, but this time, he didn't plan to be tough. Two Warcraft broad body, knocked down a few trees around, with a roar, shaking. In the heart secretly cries bitterly, he looked behind him, suddenly in front of a bright. Not far behind, a towering tree stood behind. Great! Shangguan could not help shouting, turned around and ran towards the tree. And behind him, the two behemoths were still following closely. Hey, that's it. Don't lose it. Although the two guys are bulky, but the speed is not slow. They turn their heads and watch the two warcraft behind them getting closer and closer. Push the energy and fly forward. The big tree has come to the front, and behind, the horns of the two warcraft are touching their backs. Shangguan urged energy, suddenly made a sharp turn and turned to one side. But the two warcraft were too big to make a sharp turn. One of them hit the big tree. And the other, too late to stop, but wanted to stop, so he tripped forward a few circles, knocked down several trees. With a loud bang, the big tree with at least 5 people was shaken violently and leaves fell one after another. Ha ha! Shangguan laughed happily, gasped for breath and wiped the sweat on his forehead. The two warcraft have completely entered the state of madness, roaring wildly and struggling violently, but the two horns are stuck in the wood and can't be pulled out. The fallen warcraft has already stood up, turned his head and let out a hurricane to Shangguan. Quickly raise your hand, the black energy toward the hurricane. The injury on the body was already unbearable. Shangguan was hit by the force and stepped back for several steps. He almost fell down. He quickly helped the tree trunk around him, which stabilized his body, but saw that warcraft had rushed to him. Hard as sink, Shangguan hastily urged energy, toward the side to flash. The huge corner rubbed his cheek in the past, a few strands of hair floating down, the cheek suddenly hot. Shangguan has been frightened out of a cold sweat, grinning, enduring severe pain. This is really, God is going to kill me. The warcraft shakes its head and makes its strength stand on its feet, as if it is accumulating power. Shangguan looked around, surrounded by endless forest, except for warcraft, no one. Who could have come here? Shangguan wailed and wanted to sigh about his fate. Another hurricane hit in front of him. Shangguan was exhausted and had no time to defend himself. He had to hide on his side, but he was still knocked down by the rest of his strength. The huge hoof had stepped in front of him. Shangguan breathed and closed his eyes in despair. All of a sudden, the warcraft in front of him gave a violent roar, which almost broke Shangguan's eardrum and made him nearly bleed. Open your eyes to see, but only before meeting the sun dazzling, a pretty figure standing in front of you, long hair in the slightly blowing, a burst of fragrant wind, face. Saved. Shangguan couldn't help cheering. Only the woman before meeting suddenly leaped up, facing, and the warcraft in front of her, with a ferocious and terrible wound on her face, bloody. Don't look at me, just heal. I can't handle it for long. The woman didn't look back, but suddenly she yelled angrily, waved her sword and attacked warcraft. Shangguan quickly concentrated and gathered his breath. He sat up cross-legged and closed his eyes. The woman glanced back at Shangguan, waved an energy, resisted the hurricane of warcraft, and protected Shangguan firmly behind him. Over there, warcraft, stuck in the tree, suddenly struggled violently. Suddenly, there was only a click. With the strong wind, the towering tree, which was made of single trees, fell to the ground with a roar. Warcraft shakes its head, raises its hoof and gallops towards the woman. The ground is shaking. Shangguan frowned. He was just about to get up when he heard the extremely pleasant voice coming into his ears. Don't get up. I'll deal with it first, God help me. Shangguan was very grateful to the woman, but he didn't speak and healed quietly. Women's panting is getting louder and louder. Shangguan knows how difficult it is for one person to deal with two warcraft. Now also dare not delay, more serious healing up. Although his physical strength didn't recover, it didn't delay his healing. Thinking of the pieces of meat he was defending in his personal space, Shangguan was cruel in his heart. Forget it, raw meat is raw meat. Eat it. Without hesitation, he took out a piece of raw meat and put it directly into his mouth. Then he quickly closed his eyes and ate the bloody raw meat while continuing to heal. With the food supplement, physical strength and a little bit of recovery, the body injury is also faster. The woman is still fighting with the two warcraft. She is much stronger than the average woman. She really delayed a lot of time. Finally, just when the woman was about to hold on, Shangguan opened her eyes fiercely. And the other side at the same time. The vast sea bottom, Situlan's body is hanging a bead to avoid water, flying fast toward the front. Although has avoids the water drop to help oneself not to let also sleep erosion. But at the bottom of the sea, the huge water pressure still exists. Even though Situlan raised the speed to the extreme, he still couldn't walk too fast. Up to now, Situlan has been moving forward for a day and a night. He has been surrounded by sea water for a long time, and all of them are boundless blue. From time to time, there are all kinds of creatures passing by. Situlan carefully avoided them all, which did not encounter danger. Situlan felt as if he had fallen into a maze that he could never walk out of. No matter which direction he went, his sight was the same blue. But even so, he did not waver, has been moving in a direction. A school of fish slowly swam over Situlan gently around the past, but there is still a fish broke into the blank circle around Situlan, directly fell on the ground, constantly fluttering. Situlan's step is a meal, bent down to pick up that small fish, put into the water again. This place is so big that I have to keep company with you. It's a pity you can't get close to me. Situlan shook his head. In this place, quiet for so long, even a fish he can talk up. Watching the fish leave, Situlan turns around and is ready to move on. But at this time, suddenly another school of fish rushed towards Situlan. The speed of the school of fish was much faster than just now. Situlan can't escape, and has several fish directly into the space around him. What's the matter? This time, Situlan did not have the heart to pick up the fish. The speed of the school of fish has suddenly accelerated. There must be something wrong with it. Let's see first. Situlan looked around and hid directly behind a coral. He looked up at the fish that was still speeding up. He was more puzzled. Is there a shark? Situlan said with a frown. The fish swam quickly. Then, Situlan looked at the scene above, shocked to grow up, as if to see the most terrible scene in life. In the blood corpse place, there was still a place to laugh just now, and suddenly fell into a silence. Mu Xiuming looks at Yunwu blankly. Although he believes what he understands, he still pretends not to understand. It's us. Don't worry, I won't leave you. How can I find her? I have to cure her injury. Mu Xiuming said with a smile, don't worry, I don't charge medical fees. Cloud Dance's line of sight flows on Mu Xiuming's face, trying to see something, but Mu Xiuming conceals it very well. Who is this man in black clothes? No, you tell her the way. She will heal herself. Cloud Dance's cold voice sounded, tone is no doubt, I will not leave a person who has experienced so much but is still unwilling to reveal identity around. Mu Xiuming pursed his lips, and all kinds of thoughts came out of his mind. Cloud Dance continued, thank you very much for the blood corpse. If you have a chance in the future, I will repay you for what you need me to do. But if you hide something from me, then I won't be with you anymore. Mu Xiuming chuckled, I'm so cool. You are such a person but it's hard to make friends. I'm just looking for my friend. Cloud Dance continued. Thinking of those who are still missing so far, I am very worried. She made such a big noise on the top of the volcano and killed the blood corpse, but she still didn't see them. It only means that they have gone far away and can't get their own information. Otherwise, how can they not come to find themselves? Now that they are not here, there is no need for her to stay. Next, she needs to find another way to find the whereabouts of other people. I'm fine anyway. I'd better follow you. Mu Xiuming said again. I might be able to help you along the way. I know the top of the volcano better than you. It's better than you running around all by yourself. Cloud Dance light look at him, eyes firm, no. Mu Xiuming pursed his mouth and stared at Yunwu for a long time. Yunwu then raised his head and tried to fight him. They were like having hatred, and neither of them would let the other. The other side of the three blood corpses sitting quietly, eyes in the two people's body circulation, forcing people's breath from them, as if to oppress them can't breathe in general, very strong. But the three did not dare to make a sound, let alone interrupt them. They could only bear it silently. On the other hand, after looking at each other for a long time, they finally ended up with a smile from Mu Xiuming. All right, all right. Mu Xiuming said with a smile, as if he was not the one who looked at Yunwu just now. Since you want to know, I'll tell you. Yunwu takes back her eyes and looks very attentive. I mean no harm to you, or I will do my best to help you. Mu Xiuming said, it has a purpose. What's the purpose? Cloud Dance coldly asks away. Working with you, said Mu Xiuming. In fact, you have already acquiesced from the beginning. We are destined to cooperate. Cloud Dance's eyes flashed. It's true. At the beginning, they entered the mountain palace in the blood corpse place together. Although they didn't say it clearly, they reached a tacit understanding in their hearts, but now they were told by Mu Xiuming. You don't know who I am, so I'll introduce myself first. Mu Xiuming stood up, straightened his clothes, went to Yunwu and said, my name is Mu Xiuming. I'm the little master of the world of Mu capital. Yunwu's face is calm, but his heart is somewhat surprised. I have long guessed that his identity is extraordinary. He must have some identity background to persuade so many forces to fight against the blood corpse, but I didn't expect that he would be the little master of the world of Mudu. No wonder you have that. Cloud Dance opened his mouth and said that what he said naturally refers to the flower of Rattan. At the beginning of that fire beast clan, is also you intentionally seek up. Mu Xiuming regained his smiling appearance again. Well, it's just that you work so hard, so I'll find an excuse to help you, but I really want to compete. The Cloud Dances in the heart a burst of speechless. No wonder a competition can get the flowers of Rattan. She has known about it for a long time, but she didn't expect it was designed by this person. Why are you helping me? What do you want me to do? Cloud Dance asks away, tones softened a lot. In fact, from the beginning, she had no hostility to Mu Xiuming, but there was some atmosphere. They were close friends, but they didn't even tell her their identity. Now that Mu Xiuming has said it, she can accept it more easily. No matter what the purpose of getting close to her at the beginning, the other party is not an enemy, but a very good friend who saved her life at the critical moment. If you don't have the elixir of Mu Xiuming, I'm afraid I'm useless now. Well. Mu Xiuming felt the change of Cloud Dance's attitude and was very happy. However, the questions Yunwu asked made him unhappy. He was infected with anger and his face became very serious. Help you because we have a common enemy. Mu Xiuming said coldly, his eyes twinkled with hatred. Cloud Dance eyebrows wrinkled, think carefully, then understand what Xiuming means. Cold voice sounded, calm but very confident, Beast Gate. At the moment of blurting out the 3 words, Mu Xiuming's body trembled, as if deliberately suppressing the anger in his body. Yunwu looks at him quietly. After a while, Mu Xiuming finally returned to normal. You have been to the boundary of Mudu, and you must have seen the situation there, too? Mu Xiuming's voice with a touch of sadness, more is the hatred of being exterminated. It's such a big wood city. I grew up in a place like that overnight. I don't even want to leave a complete house. Every life has to be killed. How can those animals be called human beings? That night, he was sitting alone in a quiet study, and everything was the same outside. But in the middle of the night, the scream and the sound of weapons poking into the body rang. Blood splashed on the window of the study and dyed the window paper red. He quickly went out, but saw that there were bodies everywhere outside, and all the servants and bodyguards in the house were dead and wounded. The black figure seemed to come from hell, with strong momentum, which was far away for him. Seeing his mother die in the hands of the black figure, he rushed to the black figure with a long sword like crazy. With one slap, the man beat him to death. Just when he thought he was going to die in that man's hand, the old slave gave him something and rushed up with the surviving bodyguard. He knew how important the things he was holding in his hand were, and he knew that he was not trying to be brave, so he ran away with his things. Along the way, he was often chased by the people of the Beast Gate, and he worked hard to hide his whereabouts. Until later, He saw Yunwoo. They appeared in the boundary of Mudu and had a fight with the black figure. He seemed to see the hope and wanted to help Yunwoo directly. No matter whether he can kill the man or not, he wants to rush up with all his life, but covering the box in his personal space, he receives a new order. Give the flower of wood pain to the little girl called Yunwoo, and help her all the way until she finally comes back here. This is his mission, and only in this way can he avenge his family. Just as he was puzzling about how he could rightfully hand over the rattan flowers to Yunwoo, there was a problem with Yunwoo's transmission array. Gone. Where am I going to find them? Mu Xiu understood that he was worried about not being found by that person while looking at the suddenly disappeared transmission array. At this time, he received a new task: go to the top of the volcano to find Yunwoo, and give her the flowers of rattan. Although I don't know why that person knew Yunwoo's whereabouts, Mu Xiuming still went. After that, he got to know Yunwoo and followed Yunwoo all the time. If it wasn't for Yunwoo's strong sense of defense, he would have pushed the boat along the river until Yunwoo was brought back to the boundary of Mudu. That's it. Yunwoo looks at Mu Xiuming with an eyebrow. She feels the complex emotions of Mu Xiuming, but she can't say any more words of comfort. That's it. Mu Xiuming replied in a low voice. Then he suddenly turned his head, looked at Yunwoo and said, "Now you understand. I won't hurt you." Cloud Dance was silent for a long time, and suddenly said, "So you do so much because you have received the task. That man, do you want me to avenge the world of Mudu?" Mu Xiuming definitely nodded and sighed. Now those people in the Beast Gate are still chasing me. I can't show up in a fair way. It's you. You've been chased by the Beast Gate for so long, but you dare to fight with them head-on. I really admire you. Cloud Dance is not surprised. Why can't you be fair and aboveboard? They're the ones you can't see. You want to kill me? It's still early. What's more, I've already ordered their lives. Mu Xiuming was stunned. Then he seemed to suddenly understand something, and his eyes were shining with a brilliant light. Yes, they can't see the existence of light. Why should I be afraid of them? A touch of appreciation flashed in Yunwoo's eyes. The next moment, Mu Xiuming went directly to Yunwoo and knelt down. "Miss Yunwoo." Cloud Dance Aleng, don't understand why he suddenly becomes so serious. You know, before in the Mountain Palace, Mu Xiuming had changed her name to Little Dance. Miss Cloud Dance, as the young master of the world of Mudu, I ask you that one day you must get rid of the Beast Gate and avenge those who have been poisoned by the Beast Gate in Mudu and all over the world. I'm willing to follow you forever and go through fire and water without hesitation. The young master of the world of Mudu, even if the world of Mudu is no longer there, he can call on the heroes by his name alone. As long as Mudu Xiuming is still alive, it's only a matter of time before he wants to restore his former glory. This oath, from this we can see how heavy it is. Mu Xiuming made a heavy salute to Yunwoo. He looked up and found that Yunwoo didn't know when to stand beside him. He didn't bear the salute. The friends I make in Cloud Dance never need to be servile. The cold voice of Cloud Dance rang out and stopped in Mu Xiuming's ear. He felt very beautiful. Mu Xiuming knew it in his heart. Until then, Yunwoo regarded herself as her own person, as important as the friends she was looking for. On one side, the three blood corpses curiously looked at the direction of the two people, but they were all shrouded in the barrier, and could not hear what the two people said. It was after Mu Xiuming and Yunwoo looked at each other, Yunwoo released the barrier. Mu Xiuming fell into the memory of hatred and forgot this, but she didn't forget it. She had to be vigilant at any time. After they finished talking, Yunwoo took the barrier down with a wave. At the same time, suddenly heard a blood corpse exclaimed, "This man wakes up." Cloud Dance two people Aleng, hurriedly rush past, a look, as expected that the woman lying on the ground leisurely wake up. Mu Xiuming quickly steps forward and holds her wrist. He feels that the vitality in the woman's body is recovering. He knows that the medicine he used to let her take has worked. He immediately feels relieved. "Eat this, and you'll recover faster." Mu Xiuming took out a pill and handed it to the woman. Just wake up. The woman did not respond, the pill in the mouth was swallowed directly. This just carefully looked up a few people. Blood corpse. The sight falls on the blood corpse king's body, the woman directly exclaims. I saw that the woman did a good job of defense in an instant. The purple fighting spirit wrapped her body, and a short dagger appeared directly in the palm of her hand. No, I'm not a blood corpse now. The blood corpse king waved his hand. This woman is so important to Yunwu. What if she doesn't let herself go after offending? So it's better to show weakness. To whom? Blood corpse king, I kill you with a cold drink. The woman, regardless of her newly recovered body, stabbed the bloody corpse king with a dagger. The purple fighting spirit on her body was very dazzling. The blood corpse king quickly retreated. Now he is just a human. Without the support of the black energy, he is just a useless man. How can he be the opponent of this woman? The dagger was about to pierce into the blood corpse king's chest, and a small yellowish shield appeared directly in the blood corpse king's chest. The dagger, bang, pierced the shield. Women only feel that their arms are numb, but more shocked. The power of the elements? The woman suddenly turns her head and looks at Yunwu. Are you the summoner? Cloud wave a hand, signal blood corpse king back. This just open mouth to say, I saved you, will also be responsible to send you to your husband's side. This is my deal with him. But before that, you need to take care of your body so that you don't have to worry about him and sabotage our deal. Woman Aleng, trade? What deal? Cloud Dance looked at the side of the blood corpse group of 3, said, this you will know in the future. These 3 blood corpses have now been restored to the human body and will never become blood corpses again. You don't have to kill them. Let them live and die. The woman frowned and looked at the blood corpse king, her eyes full of hatred. At the beginning, he sent someone to catch her and throw her into the black pool. Although she fell into a coma, she still had some feelings about what happened outside. I know that the blood corpse clan committed many evils, mostly because of the blood corpse king. How can she let him go easily? Cloud danced but directly ignored the woman's tangle, turned to look at those blood corpses. Do you know, from which place to leave the top of the volcano the fastest? Several blood corpses rushed to reply, I know, I know. After leaving the blood corpse place, keep going east, and you can leave here slowly. Active volcanoes will become extinct volcanoes and eventually become ordinary mountains. Further east, there will be tribal settlements. The nearest town to the east is Flint, where there are more people. The blood corpses have lived here for a long time and are very familiar with the surrounding environment. In a few words, they speak out the surrounding environment. Yunwu wants to find someone. If a person doesn't know when to find out, he can tell her where there are more people and find a way there. It's better than Yunwu bumping around like a headless fly. Cloud Dance's eyes stayed on the blood corpse king for a moment, and he couldn't help thinking more. I see. You can leave. Cloud Dance's cold voice sounded, plain as if to say a very normal thing. But it sounds like the sound of nature in the ears of those blood corpses. Really? Blood corpse king first excited voice, do you really want to let us go? I dance in the clouds, and I mean what I say. Cloud Dance coldly said, what you have done before, even if it is 1,000 cuts is not too much, but since I said that I will let you leave, then I will keep my promise. It's your business to live or die after you leave. I won't interfere anymore. If you want to live, be smart. They will go to more places after that. It would be a burden to take these blood corpses with them all the time. What's more, they can't hear the conversation many times, so it's better to let them go. And along the way, the king of blood corpses has always been obedient, without any previous hostility, and he may be able to get better. But that's not something Cloud Dance needs to consider. What do you call it? Without waiting for the reaction of the blood corpse king, Yunwu turned her head and looked at the human woman. This woman is very beautiful. She was gentle when she fell asleep, but she became tough when she woke up to see the king of blood corpse. Yunwu was impressed by the woman who directly entered the fighting state. Such a woman is exactly what she likes. After all, we have to take her all the way, so it's better to get to know each other. The woman was stunned and looked at Yunwoo's eyes. Although she didn't know why Yunwoo wanted to release those hateful blood corpses. But also not much to say, can only light answer, Lin Shuitong. Cloud Dance lightly nodded, but found that several blood corpses have not gone, frowned unhappily, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. Blood Corpse King several talent reaction come over, quickly stand up and say, go, go, we will go immediately. Thank you for not killing Miss Yunwoo. I will repay you if I have a chance in the future. Said, several blood corpses then hurriedly left. Repay? The Cloud Dances the corner of the mouth a hook, did not put on the heart at all. You just let them go. Lin Yuntong frowned and said, a touch of worry flashed in her eyes. These blood corpses commit many crimes. Although I don't know how they became human beings, once they leave like this, maybe someone will be injured in the future. It depends on whether they have the ability to hurt people again. Cloud Dance says softly. Well, anyway, they've all left. Let's leave them alone. Mu Xiuming directly came up and said with a smile, Yuntong. Nice name. My name is Mu Xiuming. Do you have a good relationship with Xiao Wu? Are you friends? Lin Yuntong was made a blank face, how this just met the man suddenly so enthusiastic? Is Cloud Dance indispensable everywhere? Ah, by the way, your body hasn't fully recovered, so your strength can't reach the peak for the time being. It can only reach the present level. Next, we're going to find some friends. Should you join us? Otherwise, it's too dangerous for you to go back alone, and I have to recuperate you slowly along the way, so that your strength can recover. Otherwise, your husband will be very distressed to see you at that time. Mu Xiuming said a lot, which made Lin Yuntong dizzy. Yunwoo went to one side and sat down, closed his eyes and said, have a rest and get ready to go. Mu Xiuming's excited topic suddenly stopped, and he directly came to Yunwoo's side, let's go. Have you decided where to go next? Flint Town. Yunwoo thinks that no matter where they go, they must also be looking for themselves. Like themselves, if something big happens, they will get together to find themselves. Since a person's power is so small, then she will make some good things, let them know where they are. In the distant forest, Shangguan looked coldly at each man and beast in front of him, and his eyes were full of fighting spirit. The woman is sweating and looks shaky. Seeing the Warcraft pounce on the woman, accompanied by another hurricane, the woman suddenly changed her face, quickly raised her hand, waved her sword, with a ray of light. Shangguan also rushed forward, black energy had been accumulating power for a long time, and hit Warcraft's face. Boom! The combination of the two forces is of great power. Straight hit Warcraft rolled back, hit another Warcraft behind him, two rolled far away. The woman looked at Shangguan, her nose was already sweaty, her lips were open, and her brows were tight. Hello, I say. Ah, I'm Shangguan. Shangguan grinned, I don't know why the girl came here. The woman snorted and turned her head. Exile? If it wasn't for you, why should I have come here? Ah. What do you mean? For him. Shangguan was stunned, but he saw that the woman had started to stab one of the Warcraft. Roar! And there, another Warcraft has been extremely angry, suddenly jumped up and ran towards the woman. Shangguan's toes are light, but his speed is fast. In a twinkling of an eye, he has swept to the woman's side, and the black energy attacks Warcraft fiercely. The Warcraft sent out a hurricane, which was swept by Shangguan. In the twinkling of an eye, Shangguan has come to Warcraft, and the black energy is covered on the palm of his hand. He splits down to the spirit cover of Warcraft. Roar! Only a scream resounded through the forest, and Warcraft fell to the ground. Shangguan was dark in front of his eyes, gritting his teeth and swallowing the blood from his throat. He was about to turn around and help the woman, but he saw that the woman had already killed Warcraft on the ground and turned to walk towards him. Finally relieved, Shangguan felt his whole heart fell to the ground, grinning at the woman, and finally fell forward in a trance. Hello, the woman had already run in front of her, with a gust of fragrance. And he just felt his body hit the ground, like cotton, and then he didn't know anything. I don't know how long it took until a cool and sweet spring suddenly flowed into my mouth. For a moment, the feeling of hunger spread to the whole body. Pain, also in an instant invasion of the whole body, so that he could not help but dull hum, just opened his sour eyes. The temple is aching. When I opened my eyes, I saw that the woman who had saved herself was sitting by her side, pouring a handful of water from a leaf into her mouth. Seeing that he woke up, the woman put down the leaf and turned around. Awake? Said the woman. Shangguan patted his confused head, sighed and sat up, only to find that it was dark. How long have I fainted? He watched the woman turning a large piece of meat on the rising fire. The meat was roasted zizi sound, bursts of meat flavor, light into Shangguan's nose, suddenly let his stomach issue a grunt sound. Puff chi, the woman couldn't help laughing out of a voice, reflected in the side of the fire face, beautiful let Shangguan can't help a leng. Immediately, also smile, sorry, too hungry, dare to ask the girl's name? The woman glanced at him and continued to roast the meat in front of him, my name is Mu Yunling. It's a man as his name is. The Shangguan looked at Mu Yunling's side face and praised him sincerely. You haven't told me who you are and why you're here. Mu Yunling Dao, in his eyes, in fact, he was suspicious of this sudden person. Shangguan couldn't help scratching his head. After thinking for a long time, he gave a bitter smile. Who knows, my friend and I were separated, and they were suddenly sent here, and then they were attacked by all kinds of warcraft inexplicably. I couldn't help sighing, Miss Muyun, what is this place? Around him, Mu Yunling turned his head suspiciously and looked at Shangguan. For a long time, it seemed that he could not see Shangguan's flaws, so he turned his lips. He turned his head, took out a knife from his waist, cut the meat on the branch into 2 parts, put one part on the leaf and handed it to Shangguan. Are you going to go back to your friends next? Mu Yunling opened his mouth and bit down a piece of meat. He vomited twice because it was too hot. He turned his head and looked at Shangguan. Shangguan was already hungry, so whether it was hot or not, he took it in his mouth and wolfed it down. Hot suction slipped for a long time, finally said, I do not know where I am now, the specific location of friends, so I do not know where to go. Well, that's it. Mu Yunling nodded thoughtfully. He bit off a small piece of meat and chewed it carefully in his mouth. It seemed that he thought for a long time before he said slowly, otherwise, you can go back to the tribe with me. I'll ask my father, he may have a way. This sentence made Shangguan overjoyed, really? He jumped up fiercely, but he was involved in his injury. He took a breath of cold air and sat back on the ground, but, do you believe me so much and take me back to the tribe? Mu Yunling turned his head, turned his big white eyes and sneered, with your current physical condition, I'm not afraid to take 10 back. What's more, if you have any plans, I'm afraid I'll have to do it when I save you. Why do you still want to help me even if you are seriously injured? Listen, Shangguan blushed a little embarrassed and said with a smile, that's not because you saved me. Don't laugh, I didn't praise you. Mu Yunling pouts. Bite off a piece of meat, vaguely said, besides, you are now so seriously injured, I put you here, that is not to save it, I finally saved the people, do not give me one cattle horse for a few months, I am not in vain to save. Shangguan couldn't laugh or cry. He really met a strange man. Luck Energy, in his body circulation circle, found that his body injury has improved a lot, cannot help but some surprise. He turned his head and looked at Xiang Mu Yunling with a smile. Thank you. Mu Yunling turned his mouth and did not look at him. He continued to bite the meat in his mouth. On the other side, Situ Lan's face was pale. Looking at everything in front of him, he was a little reluctant. In front of a large area of deep sea, a huge warcraft is trapped in the middle by a group of sharks. The warcraft is angry and roaring. Waves of swing their bodies, stirring waves in the water. Situ Lan swallowed his saliva, which was really magnificent. He was in a hurry to avoid the huge wave. Situ Lan intended to flash to one side. But I found a piece of rock and plant in front of me. Except for the vast sea area in front of me, there was no way out. Situ Lan gritted her teeth. I really don't know what to do. If you want to leave the sea, you have to pass between the group of chimeras and Warcraft. Situ Lan sighed and fell down slowly. He sat down beside a stone. He plans to sit on the mountain to watch the tiger fight, and then wait until the end of their fight, quietly pass through a few people. Thinking about this, I saw a huge open field in the deep sea, and countless people were fighting a Warcraft. There were howls coming from the mouth of Warcraft. Situ Lan was worried. Naturally, he wanted to leave here very much, but the two sides didn't plan to stop at all, and couldn't see which aspect was going to win. Situ Lan couldn't help frowning. If he put it on the ground, the number of people would catch up with the First World War. In the face of such a Warcraft, how to say, the chance of winning would be greatly reduced. So thinking, Situ Lan began to hesitate whether he wanted to help. But after looking at his present appearance, he gave a wry smile and sat back. Yes, I'm not good at what I'm doing underwater. No matter who I help, I have no advantage at all. If something goes wrong here, there will be no way to come back to you. Ah, he sighed in his heart and looked around. He thought, maybe we can find an exit in the rock behind. All of a sudden, his eyes brightened, because he saw a light spot on the top of the rock. He didn't know where to go up from here, or how high it was from the ground. However, it seems to be the only choice at present. So he dragged his tired body and swam up. Gradually, the sound of fighting became smaller behind him. Situ Lan was excited. He even felt that he could see the sunshine again. But all of a sudden, a huge shadow came down from above. Before Situ Lan had time to respond, he just felt a strong current of water coming towards him. Then, like a leaf, he was photographed to the wrong direction until he hit the rock and finally stopped. Grin, Situ Lan looked to avoid water drop, still intact, this just vomited a breath. He raised his head and looked at the shadow just now, which made his face change. In front, a huge four-legged Warcraft swam towards itself. Damn it! Situ Lan quickly prepared to gather energy to resist, but heard a burst of noise below, and then, countless people swam up from the bottom of the water. As soon as Situ Lan let off all his strength, he leaned against the rock and patted his chest. Wait, who are you? Suddenly, a shark appeared in front of him, pointing to Situ Lan with a weapon. Although chimeras are more ferocious in nature, they live on the sea floor and rarely see human beings. In addition, their eyes can be turned into gems, which are expensive. Many people have decided to make money on chimeras. In the territory of the chimera, a stranger suddenly appeared, which made all the chimeras alert. Situ Lan's heart sank, and the secret way was bad. Now it's just the time when the shark people are in danger, and he will certainly take himself as a threat. I'm afraid it's useless to explain again. Thinking about this, he suddenly reached out and grabbed the shark's weapon, pulled him over and slashed him on the neck. The shark had already fainted before he could say a word. However, the sound of questioning just now has attracted people's attention, and there are several people coming here in all directions. It's broken. Situ Lan clenched his teeth, stepped on his feet and swam up quickly. Who is it? Stop behind him, the chimera suddenly cried out and surrounded Situ Lan. As a human, he didn't swim as fast as the chimera. Soon, a chimera had grabbed Situ Lan's foot, raised his hand and cut him with a knife. Situ Lan quickly avoids, kicks the shark, grabs his hand, turns around and continues to go upstream. The shark also pursued after Situ Lan. Situ Lan was very sorry for the shark in his heart, but he knew that he couldn't stay. If he was caught by the shark, he would have to ask for a long time. Turn around and release an energy in the direction of the shark. All of a sudden, a wave of water attacked the shark. With this help, Situ Lan sprinted up for a long time. Who? Situ Lan wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. Being attacked by Situlan, the chimera became more angry and called countless chimeras around them to besiege Situlan. Phew! A shark swims fast and cuts towards Situlan. His strength is extremely strong. Situlan's action in the water was difficult. He couldn't deal with it flexibly, so he had to turn around and try to avoid it. Unexpectedly, the knife fell on his own bead. The water escape beads broke into pieces and scattered in the sea. It's broken. Situlan saw that the sea was surging towards him, but he had no protection to avoid water drops. After drinking 2 mouthfuls of salty sea water, he choked into his nose and lungs, which made him frown. But he still kept his mind and hastened to go upstream. But he didn't stick to it for long. Soon, his lungs seemed to explode, and even his head was swelling. He felt that he had reached the limit. Hurry up! Situlan prayed silently in his heart and continued to go upstream. Suddenly, Situlan finally saw the faint light on the water and was overjoyed. However, he has gradually lost his strength. Lack of oxygen makes his hands and feet stiff. He opens his eyes, but his consciousness has gradually pulled away from his body. No, I can't die here. Situlan was struggling in his heart. He tried to move his hands and feet, but gradually, his eyes were dark, and the pain in his lungs disappeared suddenly. He closed his eyes and breathed out his last breath. On the top of the volcano, a huge eagle flies high. On his back, 3 figures stood on the top, looking around at the situation below. The terrain here has really changed. After a long time, we are finally leaving that place. Mu Xiuming sighed. He grew up in the boundary of the wood capital, where the climate is pleasant and the wood elements are very abundant. All kinds of vegetation cover the boundary of the wood capital. When did he go to such a place where there is no grass? I didn't expect that it would be so long in a blink of an eye. Lin Yuntong also said in a very gentle voice. When I was asleep, I knew it had been a long time outside, but I didn't expect that I had been sleeping so long, and I didn't know what happened to him. Now Lin Yuntong has learned a lot from Mu Xiuming. She knows all about why they saved themselves and what deal Yunwu has with Xuan. We stopped directly in Flint Town. According to the Blood Corpse King, now the terrain has changed, and it will be there in half a day. Yunwu looks at the changing terrain around, from the fiery red ground on the top of the volcano to desert, and finally to more and more lush forest. When you get to Flint, the first thing is to have a good meal. Mu Xiuming directly lay down on Jinling's back. I haven't had anything to eat after so many days in this broken place. I've been greedy for a long time. Cloud Dance glanced at him. Why didn't you complain when eating snake meat? Mu Xiuming grinned. Except for the snake meat you gave me, I can't eat anything else. Yunwu turned his head and ignored him. Since that day, Mu Xiuming became more wordy. He made no secret of his purpose and was full of good words all day. Jinling, faster. The cloud dances and the cold voice rings out. At the foot, Jinling called, and the speed increased a few minutes. Finally, after 2 hours, Jinling stopped flying. The 3 jumped from Jinling's back and landed on the edge of a forest. Not far away, it's a slightly larger town. Yunwu takes Jinling into the space, and then flies to the town with the other 2 people. But in a moment, we arrived at the gate of the town. The walls here are all red. Standing at the gate of the city, Mu Xiuming looks up at the town in surprise. Compared with the solitude on the top of the volcano before, people here are very busy. It's like Flint. Lin Yuntong suddenly said that she had been to many places with Xuan, so she knew many things that others didn't know and had a lot of insight. Flint is a special product of volcano, which contains abundant fire elements. If there is a summoner of fire element, it is said that this was once the place where a fire element summoner stayed, so it is called Flint Town. After Lin Yuntong's explanation, Yunwu and Mu Xiuming nodded thoughtfully. So if I practice here, I will get twice the result with half the effort? Mu Xiuming said in surprise. Lin Yuntong nodded, it's true. Yunwu was also excited, but he thought that his trip was not for fun, and there were more important things to do, so he said, "Don't get excited, go in and have a look." Several people entered the city back and forth. Sure enough, as soon as I stepped into Flint Town, I felt a strong fire element coming. But it's different from being on top of a volcano. At the top of the volcano, the smell is hot and it is easy to burn people, but here is a rich element of fire. If you are a fire element summoner, you will feel very comfortable. For example, Mu Xiuming at this time. Ah, I really want to stay here all the time. It's so comfortable. It's much better than the top of the volcano. Mu Xiuming said with a look of enjoyment. Cloud Dance didn't answer his words, but frowned and looked at the people around. Do you find it strange? Cloud Dance says, how come all the people here go out? Is there a big deal? Would Xiuming Aleng have not yet reaction come over what meaning? The other side of Lin Yuntang once again opened a mouth. Not only that. Normally, it's just a small town. There shouldn't be so many experts here, but here. Lin Yuntang didn't say anything after that. According to her current strength, I can't feel the strength of those people, but Yunwu and Mu Xiuming can. There are too many masters in this town, and in the perception of Cloud Dance, there are 3 Wuzong. It's not normal for this small town. Find a place to rest first, and then make a good inquiry. Cloud Dance said. Now that I'm here and I've come across such a big event, I naturally want to step in. Maybe other people will get the news. The 3 found an inn together and went straight in. Then he went downstairs to find a place to sit down and ordered some food at will. Mu Xiuming wolfed down as if he hadn't eaten anything good for hundreds of years, and soon he was swept away. A few people eat very fast, but a moment later, ordered a table to eat, then all solved. Mu Xiuming asked for tea again. While they were drinking tea leisurely, they listened to the people around them talking, hoping to see if they could get some useful information. I'll tell you, the Lord of Bailey City has also come this time. I see that other people have no hope at all. A big man said. What? Even he's here? I say you, there are more powerful experts in this city recently. I heard that the city leader is in the realm of Wuzong. Another man frowned and said, with those Wuzong present, it's not easy for others to get that thing again. Well, that's not necessarily true. Their conversation was heard by people at another table. Then they came to them with a wine bowl and said in a loud voice. This is a rare battle for treasure. It's said that it's a cave left by the former summoner. There are many treasures in it. Although the powerful summoner is not rare, it's all treasures for us. We'll get rich if we get any of them. No matter how powerful those people are, they can't occupy all of them, can they? That is, we have no ambition, as long as we can take 1 or 2 pieces and sell them for $2. That most valuable treasure, we can die to covet. Cloud Dance. 3 people have not spoken all the time, those a few people talk for a long time will be the whole in people involved in the topic, obviously everyone knows this thing. At present, Yunwu few people are no longer silent. Mu Xiuming took the teacup and walked up with a smile. I don't know what the most valuable thing you said. Mu Xiuming was very elegant and had a harmless smile on his face. He didn't look like a master at all. When he asked this, the men were stunned, and then burst into a burst of laughter. Ha 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 boy, do you want to covet that baby? Didn't you hear that? This time, Wuzong intervened. You are so thin that you can't get it even if you go. In the end, you will offend those people. I advise you to stop, just like us, and make some money. Other people are also full of ridicule, do not pay any attention to him. You are joking. I just passed by and heard you talk about it. I was just curious for a moment. How can I really rob you? Mu Xiuming was not angry and continued to talk to them. Oh. It's an outsider. The first big man said. Looking up and down at Mu Xiuming, you don't look like a man of cultivation. You must be really just curious. I'll tell you. Yunwu and Lin Yuntang also turned around and listened. This flint town used to be a place where the summoner stayed, and the place where the summoner once practiced was in the Warcraft forest outside the town. There was a place for him to practice. Later, I don't know why, the summoner came back here seriously and finally died there. This has always been a legend of Flint Town. No one knows where the place is. 3 days ago, there was a wave of energy in the Warcraft forest. When the Lord sent someone to look at it, he found that an ancient tomb hidden in the space appeared. Only then did he know that it was the place where the summoner had stayed. Mu Xiuming was surprised. What else? Then why didn't the city master go in at that time? The big man shook his head. You don't know. That summoner is proficient in array, so there must be mechanism array everywhere in that tomb. It may trigger the array and send you to a messy place. You can't come back in your life. And that summoner is the summoner of fire element and space element. No one dares to go in for the first-class use of space. But the good things inside are still very attractive. Good thing? What can attract so many people? Mu Xiuming asked. The big man laughed. I'm afraid it's the inheritance of the summoner. Unfortunately, after so many years, no new summoner has appeared, let alone the dual summoner. Even if everyone goes in, they won't get the inheritance. Mu Xiuming's heart moved, but when he heard that only the dual summoner could get the inheritance, he immediately felt very lost. Then he thought, isn't Cloud Dance okay? If Cloud Dance can be inherited, won't it be more confident to deal with the Beast Gate? Since we can't get that inheritance, why are we still flocking to it? You don't know that. Although we can't get the inheritance of the summoner, the jade plate carrying the inheritance has great power, and it can also enhance the strength of a large part. And maybe you can get some guidance from the spirit of the summoner. At that time, the future is limitless. Yes, it's just a pity that the people who come here this time are also the leaders of the main cities. It is said that their strength is not weak, and that thing is destined to be theirs. Alas! The other one came up and shook his head. Mu Xiu brightened his eyes and said, I don't know when the tomb will open. Now it's the 4th day that the tomb appears. In 3 days, the team will gather. At that time, under the leadership of several city masters, they will organize experts to break the boundary outside the tomb, and everyone will be able to enter the tomb to look for treasures. At the end of his speech, Mu Xiuming gave a thank you and went back to his desk. Those people continued to discuss the treasures and speculate about what might be inside. After listening for a while, the 3 people on Mu Xiuming's side decided that there was no useful news, so they went back to their room together. Xiaowu, will you go to that treasure contest? Mu Xiuming went directly into the room of Cloud Dance and said excitedly, do you hear the inheritance of the summoner? You should be able to accept that inheritance. If you can get it, your strength will be improved a lot. Cloud Dance helplessly looking at him, clearly is the wood all of the boundary of Little Lord, unexpectedly so sink not live gas. But looking at his expectant eyes, Yunwu nodded and said, I will definitely go. Let's not talk about the attraction of inheritance to me. In such a prosperous age, I must be able to make friends with many people. Make friends? Mu Xiuming was stunned. When are you interested in making friends? Cloud Dance Whitey One Eye, is not interested in making friends, I just need some local influential people, help me find people. As soon as Yunwu said this, Mu Xiuming understood it. Originally, to participate in the battle for treasure is just to better find friends. It seems that those friends are really important to her. Mu Xiuming sighed, if you can't find your friends, I'm afraid you'll be crazy. Yunwu smiles and doesn't speak. Looking out of the window, I wonder if I'll meet them in such a prosperous age. I haven't heard from them for so long, and I don't know what happened to them. Mu Xiuming's eyes are floating on Yunwu's body. Although he also wants to help Yunwu to ask where those people are, I'm afraid he won't get the answer even if he asks. It's enough to know that they are all alive and scattered in different places. To this day, he still does not completely tell the whole truth to Yunwu, or say, there is a part of the truth that even he does not know. Cloud Dance, they seem to fall into a big net, everyone is constantly honing themselves in this net, working towards the goal. The top of the volcano, the largest volcano, the white figure gradually emerged. The hot magma is eroding towards the figure, but it can't get close at all. That white figure, a light around the body, after so long time, finally completely integrated into the body. When the light coincides with the body, a strong breath comes out directly. The pressure of forcing people to sweep out, with the volcano as the center, pouring in all directions, like a god from the sky, let every creature on the top of the volcano feel the pressure. Even some close, even directly creeping on the ground, the body faint tremor. Wuling realm. The white figure in the invisible pressure center, even the magma under the body also dare not close, the whole person seems to be directly suspended in the air. When the prestige reached the top, the figure instantly opened his eyes. A pair of eyes bright to the extreme, handsome and coquettish face, such as flawless, but also incomparably handsome. Thin lips like a knife cut, black hair down spread out, scattered a few strands floating in front of the chest, for the white man added a bit more evil. Long Qingxia's eyes looked up at the sky, his eyes were affectionate, his lips were thin, and his voice was very charming. Little thing, are you in a hurry? Weifu is coming to you. Warcraft Forest. Shangguan asked for nothing. He touched his nose and was silent. They ate the meat in their hands silently, and no one spoke any more. For a long time, until the flame has burned out. Shangguan was already sleepy on the tree. He turned to see Mu Yunling beside him and found that she was still holding her sword, sitting on one side and looking at the sky, as if she didn't feel tired at all. Shangguan just wanted to ask Mu Yunling if he wanted to have a rest, but suddenly he heard Mu Yunling say faintly, "Don't talk too much if you are seriously injured. Go to bed quickly. I'll watch the night and we'll start tomorrow morning." Helpless, Shangguan had to sit under the tree, looking at his feet in a daze. But looking at the woman who seemed to be on a par with himself, Shangguan was full of doubts and didn't know how to say it. However, even if he was sleepy and couldn't sleep, he scratched his head and sat up with a sigh. "I said, Miss Mu, you said it's because of me. Why are you here?" Mu Yunling turned his head, glanced at the Shangguan, then turned to look at the sky. He seemed to be impatient. "Is it good for you to ask so many questions? But, you know all about me, and I don't know anything about you. I'm worried that you sold me to someone else as a coolie when I was seriously injured." Mu Yunling was so angry that he couldn't speak. He swallowed his saliva and stared at Shangguan for a long time. Then he said leisurely, "I just want to sell you to be a coolie. What can you do for me?" But with a bitter smile, how can this girl change her face faster than turning a book? If this rhythm goes on, it's hard to say whether she wants to be fooled by applause. "Ah, that girl, it's like this. My friends and I have been sent to places I don't know. I want to find them. I want to ask you if there is any transmission array here. Maybe." Before she finished speaking, Mu Yunling had closed her eyes. Of course, she didn't really want to sleep, but she was saying that she didn't want to listen to you. Shangguan choked for a long time, then finally sighed and looked up at the sky. "What kind of people will you meet tomorrow? Will you encounter any unexpected events? Will you encounter the pursuit of the beast gate in my heart? I feel a little uneasy, but I can't resist the security of having someone around me in this primeval forest. I can't stand the heavy eyelids. Gradually, the whole person is to go to consciousness, sleep in the past. When I woke up again, I was pulled up from the ground by Mu Yunling. Before I could open my eyes, I felt a chill around me. Then, with a crash, his face was poured into the cold river. Suddenly, Shangguan jumped up from the ground. "Hello," I said. "Miss Muyun, you are wrong." While criticizing Mu Yunling, Shangguan plans to wipe the water on his face with his hand, but suddenly finds out. "When was my hand tied?" He raised his head and looked at Mu Yunling in shock, but saw that Mu Yunling grinned and glanced behind him. Shangguan swallowed and couldn't help looking behind him. Behind him stood 3 big men, all with long swords and a cold face. These 3 big men, tall, covered all the sunshine around the Shangguan, which made him feel ashamed. "Good morning." Shangguan said hello with a smile, but his heart could not help surging. What's going on? Why? What happened? Shangguan was tied, turned his head and looked at Xiang Mu Yunling for no reason. He raised his eyebrow and asked, "What does that mean?" "I don't understand." "Ah, it's just that they thought you were bullying me." Mu Yunling lowered his head, very embarrassed, blushing. "I bully you. I bully you. Why should I bully you?" Shangguan wailed and struggled twice. "I found that these two men must be practitioners, and this binding technique is unique. I only feel a pain in my hand. It seems that the rope is made of special, with his strength struggling for a long time, but still motionless. I told them." Mu Yunling blinked a pair of watery eyes and looked at Shangguan pitifully. "I'll go. This girl is not easy to provoke. Wait a minute. It was so majestic yesterday. Where is it today?" "No, why?" Shangguan was puzzled. But before Mu Yunling could reply, the two men behind him had already picked him up and threw him into a carriage. Another man took Mu Yunling to another carriage, and then the two carriages bumped forward on the road. Sitting in the carriage, the Shangguan kept silent and lowered his head. Two big men sat beside him and looked at him without blinking, which made him very angry. Can't help shouting, "Hello! Don't look at me all the time. It's like you're in love with me." The two men frowned and seemed to be displeased. They raised their fists and motioned to Shangguan that if they were not honest, they would be beaten. Shangguan was very depressed. He became a flower gatherer for no reason. He was bound and sent to the tribe for trial, which made everyone feel very uncomfortable. But now, I'm afraid no one is too lazy to listen to his explanation. Thinking about this, he simply closed his eyes and soon fell asleep. It was not until he was picked up again that Shangguan opened his eyes. Before he could see what kind of tribe it was, he was pushed into a room by two big men and slammed the door. Shangguan immediately felt that the whole person was not good. It was an open-air cell, which was placed in the middle of a square. Around them were plain-looking people in coarse linen. They pointed at the Shangguan one by one and seemed to be talking about something. "What's the matter with this? It's strange for the people of this tribe to have such differential treatment." Shangguan is still murmuring. "I don't know why." In a moment. "But I saw Mu Yunling led by an old man and came this way." The old man was dignified, frowning, with his hands on his back, followed by 6 soldiers with weapons, and his face was serious. The cells were gradually surrounded by villagers. "You are the one who defiled my daughter." The old man was standing on the edge of the cell. Some soldiers had moved the chair over. The old man sat directly opposite Shangguan and looked at Shangguan. Shangguan was stunned. He didn't know what he was doing. He looked at the old man in front of him and Mu Yunling beside him. "Defile? What do you mean?" Mu Yunling stood beside the old man, but lowered her head and didn't look at Shangguan's face at all. Therefore, she couldn't see Shangguan's face. "Tell me why you're sullying my daughter." The old man was very angry. Looking at Shangguan's confused face, there was a green fight in his palm. "Ah!" With the scream of Mu Yunling, he attacked the Shangguan in the prison. Shangguan was tied with both arms and seriously injured, so he had no time to dodge. He got a hard hit from the old man, and his blood suddenly surged up. A mouthful of blood gushed out, and he fell to the ground and couldn't get up. "Do you think you can bully anyone? It's not good or bad." The voice of the old man made all the people around him dare not speak. The onlookers seemed to be more noisy, and countless voices of "abnormal" and "sex wolf" came to the ears of Shangguan from all directions. Shangguan felt as if there was a stone in his heart. He couldn't spit it out and swallow it. He was so miserable that he bit his teeth and didn't say a word. His chest seemed to explode, which made his eyes black. However, in front of Mu Yunling's eyes with tears, let him how also hate. That eye seems to say to him, in fact, things are not like this, I do not want such a result. Suddenly I feel a little miserable. Shangguan can't help grinning. He usually talks a lot of nonsense, but now he doesn't want to say anything. He lies on the ground, letting people around him point out. You take care of him, shut him up for a day, and decide what to do with him tomorrow. The old man said seriously. Several soldiers around answered, yes, so the old man got up and took Mu Yunling back. Mu Yunling couldn't help looking back at the cell, tears in his eyes could not stop flowing down. Until evening, no one came to see Shangguan. He lay on the ground, closed his eyes, and never got up. His health was getting worse and worse. If he knew that it would be like this, he might as well have been bitten to death by the warcraft in the wild. Now it seems that death is not far away. Thinking about this, I suddenly heard someone call his name softly. Shangguan breathed out. You don't have to think about it. In this tribe, only Muyunling knows his name. Other people don't know who he is. So it must be Muyunling who hides behind him. Shangguan, are you awake? Mu Yunling squatted behind the wooden prison and asked quietly. Shangguan didn't care about her. He simply closed his eyes and pretended that he hadn't woken up. Behind him, Mu Yunling sighed, his voice seemed very disappointed and anxious. Shangguan, are you doing anything now? I'm really worried about you, that I know you're angry about this strange thing today. After a long silence, Shangguan felt very angry. He wanted to stand up and make a theory. Who, a normal man, would be happy to be charged with such a crime? But you know, if I don't say that, you may have been eaten by warcraft now. Mu Yunling curled his mouth, and the voice sounded very crooked, because our Xinyu tribe is fighting with the nearby Yu tribe, we don't know what everyone is from. If I rashly take you back to the tribe, you will be killed by random sticks. Shangguan's heart moved. That's why. No wonder Muyunling would say that. Suddenly, his heart relaxed a lot. But the doubt came again. In this case, I'm afraid I can't wash myself when I jump into the swamp. Behind him, Mu Yunling took out a bottle from his clothes, put it on the ground with a clatter, and untied the Shangguan's hands. After a long silence, he finally said, This is the Huishan pill I stole from my father. It's for your healing. This pill is very precious. There are only 2 pills left. My father hurt you. I'll apologize to you. Take care of yourself. I'll explain it to my father clearly, so you don't have to worry. I'll see you tomorrow. Said, behind Dada footsteps sound up, and then gradually smaller, and finally completely disappeared. Shangguan vomited, and finally opened his eyes. There was no hatred in his eyes, I see. If only you had explained it to me earlier. Then he sat up and took the small porcelain bottle from behind. Open, a strong fragrance of medicine overflowed from the bottle, immediately let Shangguan brain a burst of fresh, even the chest injury feel a lot less pain. It's really a good thing. In front of his eyes, Shangguan poured out the pill, raised his hand and fed it into his mouth. He raised his head and swallowed it. Suddenly, straight down from the throat, gradually melting into a warm current, all the way to the lower abdomen. 3 days passed quickly. In the early morning of that day, Yunwu woke up from the cultivation state. After entering the realm of Wuzong, the improvement of strength is slower, and it is often impossible to make much progress in the whole day of cultivation. But the cultivation is not urgent, only a little accumulation. Yunwu opens the window and looks at the street outside. A large number of strong people keep pouring out of the city. There is only one direction for them, the summoner's tomb. Long Qingxia, will you show up? Cloud Dance silently thought of in the heart, faintly, unexpectedly some look forward to the next treasure fight. The door of the room was knocked and Yunwu whispered, Come in. Little Dance, are you ready? Would Xiuming, a face excited, rushed into the room, followed by Lin Yuntong, 2 people a front and a back into the room of Cloud Dance. Mu Xiuming came to Yunwu and looked out of the window like her. He saw the sea of people rushing out of the city. The noise resounded in every corner of Huisher town. Mu Xiuming's hearing is excellent. From time to time, one or two words pop out and come into his ears. When he mentions summoner, everyone's face is full of longing and yearning. Mu Xiuming grinned. I don't know what their reaction would be if they knew that a summoner would appear today. This time, several Wuzong went, as we all know. I'm afraid that there will be more powerful people. Lin Yuntong also went to the bedside, heard someone talk about the strength of the several city masters, can't help saying. Cloud Dance nodded, the strength of Wuzong can come out so many people at a time, so it's not strange to come out one or two more Wudi. But Yunwu is not worried. She has been in the realm of Emperor Wu for some time. Although she is not the top, she is confident that in the realm of Emperor Wu, the General Emperor Wu will not be her opponent at all. Time's up. It's time for us to go too. Cloud Dance finally took a look at the crowd below, turned to the two people around and said, if you go too late, you'll have to squeeze together with other people at that time, which will inevitably affect your action. Mu Xiuming and Lin Yuntong nodded, and then the three followed the army out of the gate and moved toward the outside of the city. They didn't know where the tomb was, but all of them were in the same direction. Even if they didn't know before, they could find it by following the crowd. Cloud Dance three people talk and laugh, it doesn't look like they are going to fight for the baby, the road attracted people's attention. When I got to the forest, I obviously felt that there were fewer people. I thought there were so many people going. I just wanted to see the excitement. Mu Xiuming looked at those who stopped outside the forest, felt their strength, and said. After all, it's too dangerous. No matter how attractive the treasure is, you have to save your life. Lin Yuntong said. She is a samurai. Before entering the forest, she entered the fighting state, wearing a water blue combat suit, which made her always gentle, a little more tough. When you enter the forest, you will walk further and further inside, for fear that you will meet all kinds of people. At that time, in the face of the huge treasures in the tomb, I'm afraid that someone will have evil intentions. Cloud Dance cold voice says, that kind of circumstance is certain to meet. But looking at Mu Xiuming's appearance, that he is sure to succeed in the inheritance, and even Lin Yuntong is still very gentle in the battle, Yunwu thinks it's better to explain himself. Don't worry, little Dance. We know that. Let's go. We'll follow you. Mu Xiuming said seriously, but the excitement in his eyes could not be concealed. Although I can't get the inheritance, I feel even more excited when I think of Cloud Dance. The strength of the three people is much stronger than that of the people around them, so although they didn't deliberately speed up, they are very fast compared with those people, and they soon surpass many people all the way. Although Yunwu doesn't want to cause trouble, it doesn't mean other people think so. Those three people in front, stop for me. The arrogant voice rings out. The Cloud Dance's three people, only to call others, did not care. The footstep does not stop at the foot, continue to talk and laugh forward. Asshole. I didn't understand, did I? The arrogant voice sounded again. This time, a strong breath directly from behind towards the middle of the cloud attack in the past. Yunwu's face sank and his figure did not move. The purple fighting spirit floated on the surface and directly blocked the attack. The purple light flickered so fast that people around thought they were dazzled, but still some people cried out in shock. Purple fighting spirit. A man pointed to Cloud Dance in shock and said that his eyes were full of disbelief. True or false? The other one didn't see it, so he quickly asked, are you wrong? How is purple fighting possible? Really? That's the woman. For a moment, the eyes of all the people around were on Yunwu. Cloud Dance frowned, originally intended to go quietly toward the depths, in the end or attracted attention. People around the eyes from the initial shock to later fear, and then slowly turned into a defensive. Mu Xiuming felt those people's eyes and his face sank in an instant. There is only one goal for these people, that is, the treasure in the grave. If more people go in, the treasure will get less points. If the person who goes in is a strong one, then that person is doomed to be the target of public criticism. They dare not and can't stir up masters like the city master, but they dare to deal with people like Yunwu who don't know their specific strength and have no reputation. Yunwu coldly looks at the expression changes of the people around her, and knows that she is too clumsy to hide. Unexpectedly, she lets these people have an idea about her. I advise you, little girl. The grave is very dangerous. You'd better go home and don't come out to do these dangerous things. Yes, little girl, it's too dangerous in there. If you break your arm and leg when you come out and go back, your family will be worried. Baby is good, but you have to have your life to get it. People around have different opinions, as if they are thinking about Cloud Dance. But the eyes were full of warnings. If they are afraid of the strength of Cloud Dance, they are shocked by the purple fighting spirit. But when they see that so many people around them are the same as themselves, they regard Cloud Dance as a thorn in the flesh, and that fear disappears. As if they have the strength to make threats. Yunwoo looks at them coldly, taking a panoramic view of those people's looks. It seems that they are afraid that you are stronger than them and will rob their property. Mu Xiuming stands beside Yunwoo and looks at the people around him casually. Go, leave them alone. Cloud Dance's cold voice to say, then turn round to fly toward the deep place directly. Mu Xiuming and Lin Yuntong, two people closely follow up. Stop. Stop them at this time. The person who had been fighting against Yunwoo not only didn't leave, but also speeded up the speed and flew to the depth, so he directly glared and roared. People around have formed a tacit understanding. They all acquiesce that Yunwoo can't pass through. Someone has been standing in front of Yunwoo for a long time to stop her from going deep. As soon as Yunwoo's face sank and his palm turned, the ancient sword appeared directly in his palm, but there was no black flame on it. As soon as the ancient martial arts sword appeared, many people's eyes lit up. Staring at the sword on Yunwoo's palm, they showed greedy eyes. Yunwoo naturally felt it, and her eyes were cold. Coveting his weapons? Also want to see if you have that ability. With a wave of his arm, Guwu's big knife cut directly at the people who were standing in front of him on the ground. Hand up, knife down, the back of the knife heavily lifted him out, heavily hit the side of the tree, bone came, click, sound. If it were not for Yunwoo's mercy, all those people would have died at this time. Tut tut, I'm really out of my ability. If I don't weigh each other's strength, I won't be in the front. I dare to stop the way of little dance. Mu Xiuming stood with his arms in his arms to watch the excitement, shaking his head and saying to those people who fell to the ground and were humming. Yunwoo stood in place and didn't speak, his eyes moved coldly in the surrounding crowd. To defeat so many heroes in one move, those who covet the Cloud Dance weapons have some convergence, but still a large part of them are still looking at the Cloud Dance sword. A move. As long as a move, it must be the reason of the knife, will defeat those people. If you can own the knife, it will be much more powerful. It's an idea in almost everyone's mind, and it's obvious that more and more people have this idea, and they don't hide their salivation. Cloud Dance sneered, looking at those staring at their wounded weapons, cold voice sounded. And he said, you want my weapon? If you have the guts, come. The words of Cloud Dance, like a bomb, were thrown into the crowd, and instantly ignited the desire of countless people. Go. How powerful can this little girl film be? I think it's all because of her hands. Yes. Let's get rid of her so that we can go to the grave, or it will be too late. Yes, let's go. As if a consensus had been reached, a group of people flashed greedy eyes directly toward Yunwoo. I'll help her. Lin Yuntong said that he quickly lit up his weapon and wanted to go up. No, 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 no. Mu Xiuming stretched out his hand and stopped her directly. These little soldiers and shrimps are not the opponents of Xiaowu at all. If she can't even deal with these people, there's no need to mention those who are better than grave babies. After listening to Mu Xiuming, Lin Yuntong stops, but still frowns and looks at the people who are fighting in the field. Cloud Dance seems to be scared silly, as if do not know how to act. Those people who covet the ancient martial arts sword come directly, but Yunwoo has been standing in the same place without action. Finally, the first person came in front of him with a sneer, and his body moved directly to the man's back. His hand fell, and he cut his right arm on the bearer's shoulder. Ah, cried the man, as if he had seen something terrible. Why is it so fast? But without waiting for him to think about why, Yunwoo had already kicked him out, turned around and rushed to the next target. The screams resound in the forest. Yunwoo is like a murderer. He sees blood on everyone, but he doesn't kill anyone. Those who rushed over later had already regretted it. Looking at the action of Cloud Dance, they were so dazzled that they couldn't tell where they were. The feeling of terror swept everyone's heart, and then looked at the Cloud Dance eyes full of panic, did not expect that such a young girl should have such a terrible strength. Yunwoo's action finally stopped, and many figures were lying beside him, all of them were people who didn't want to rush up. Cloud Dance cold vision swept around the people, swept people cannot help but play a shiver. Those who had been scrambling to snatch the ancient swords stopped one after another, hoping to get further away from Yunwoo. Although people on the ground are seriously injured, their strength will be affected even if they are saved. Cloud Dance is merciless. It's the biggest concession to let them live. If you dare to covet her things, you should do well in this kind of consciousness. Anybody else want it? Cloud Dance coldly said, with the internal power to spread out the sound, so that all the people present can clearly hear. The voice seemed to come from hell, and no one dared to answer her. With a sneer, Yunwoo turns around and beckons to Mu Xiuming and Lin Yuntong. They fly to the depths together. This time, no one dared to stop her. You beat them so badly that you are not afraid of revenge? Mu Xiuming comes to Yunwoo and asks. Those people are just temporary teams of greedy people. They are lax in their actions. They don't have the ability to retaliate. Cloud Dance coldly said, what's more, I have left them a life. If they have self-knowledge, they should know how to do. Don't provoke me again is the right behavior. Mu Xiuming said with a smile, you are really impolite. They are all desperators, but you don't want to kill them. Do you want to leave a curse? Cloud Dance doesn't think so. What's that? I'm just trying to look good on the surface. Looking for other people also needs some big families in Flint Town, so it's better not to make trouble. But if things come to me, I will not give in easily. There was a smile in Mu Xiuming's eyes, but he didn't say anything more. Three people's speed is extremely fast, this time is deliberately do not say hello to other people, so soon arrived at the destination. A huge palace looms between the trees. There are fluctuations of space elements in the air. Just looking at the palace, many people show their salivating eyes. Cloud Dance three people can slow down when they are about to arrive, so that they are not so attractive, mixed in the crowd to see the palace. At this time, the gate of the palace was already a sea of people. Everyone looked at the gate of the palace with greedy eyes, but no one dared to get close to it. Near the gate of the palace, there were a group of bodyguards dressed in black strong clothes, armed in a circle, who kept no one near the gate of the palace, as if waiting for something strange. Mu Xiuming grabbed a man who was talking to his friend and asked, this man, why are there so many people? Don't you go in yet? That person might as well be caught for a moment, just want to get angry, see Mu Xiuming a smile to ask him a question, also politely call him, brother. As the saying goes, the man who reaches out his hand and doesn't smile is no longer angry. He also says happily, you don't know. The border at the gate of the palace is very strong. It's said that even the masters of Wuzong realm can't open it after passing the previous test. So our city master contacted the city masters of other cities and gathered a large number of masters to open it together it is. It's not time yet. They haven't come yet. We can't get in even if we want to. In this way, Mu Xiuming understood why so many people were willing to accept the discipline of those people in black. It's not because those people in strong clothes are the bodyguards of the Lord. If they want to enter the palace, they must accept the favor of the Lord to open the border. Otherwise, no one will be able to enter the palace without the Lord's command. So at this time, naturally, everyone will be obedient. In the face of the city lord, no one will make trouble. Mu Xiuming asked again, how long will it take for them to come? The man looked up at the sun in the sky, estimated the time, and said, I'm afraid it's going to be noon. We are all worried that we'll be crowded behind and the good things will be robbed by others. That's why we came so early. The city masters are not in a hurry. It's still early. On hearing this, Mu Xiuming's face suddenly collapsed, but he gave thanks to the humanitarian, and then returned to Yunwu's side. I can't get in until noon. As soon as he came back, Mu Xiuming hung his head and complained, Ah. Xiaowu, you said, with the strength of the three of us, can we open the border? You are the strength of Emperor Wu. Cloud Dance frowned at the palace gate and said, You can open it, just. Just what? Can we open it, or shall we go first? Mu Xiuming said quickly. Cloud Dance shook his head. The legendary summoner left such a treasure cave. Do you think it would be so easy for others to enter? Mu Xiuming was stunned. What do you mean? The Cloud Dance's a corner of the mouth to hook, did not steal the grave, but always heard of stealing the grave. There are many mechanisms in every tomb. If you want to break in directly, I promise, you will die. Mu Xiuming's heart trembled. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said, Is it so terrible? Isn't it impossible to get in? Yunwu shook his head, his eyes swept over the greedy faces, and his voice became very heartless. These people are pathfinding stones. Mu Xiuming was stunned, instantly understood what Cloud Dance meant, and looked at those people. People from all over the world gathered here, and someone had already found a team to form a small team. Everyone's face was full of enthusiasm, and their coveting for the treasure made them forget the same price they had to pay. Yunwu, three people are sitting in a place to have a rest. It seems that they feel that they have formed a team of their own, or because Yunwu's feeling is too cold to be close to, so no one dares to come up to say hello for a long time. Just when Yunwu thought it would be like this until he entered the palace, suddenly a voice came. Found it. Here they are. The sound of surprise came directly to Yunwu 3. Then, they saw a small team coming towards the tree where they were. There were 10 people in the team. At the front was a girl about 13 or 14 years old, dressed in yellow. There is also a middle-aged man behind to protect him. Just now, the voice of surprise is just from her. The sound is clear and crisp, which attracts many people's attention. My God, it's the second lady of the city lord. Ah. Really? The second lady of the city master. How come she's here? I didn't expect to see her here. The second lady is more beautiful. Ah. How are they going that way? The voices of discussion rang out one after another. All the people consciously gave way to both sides of the place where the team passed. It was the second lady of Flint Town. Who dares to offend her? Cloud Dance. 3 people looked at each other, in each other's eyes to see the doubt, how this Flint Town 2 young lady found them. In the twinkling of an eye, those people came to the front. The woman in yellow came directly to Yunwu, with a surprise on her face. Vexia, Vexia, you have been found at last. Your speed is too fast. We are chasing you all the way. We are afraid that we will not catch up with you and let you go to other teams. Yunwu's face was calm. Looking at the lively girl in front of her, her voice was a little chilly. Are you with us? The girl quickly nodded and said, Yes, just before you started with those people, we were not far away. Later, you left in such a hurry that we didn't catch up and chased all the way. Hey Vexia, you are so powerful. So many people have been killed. As soon as the girl's words were finished, the onlookers were shocked and looked at the Cloud Dance in disbelief. This woman. How is that possible? But I can't believe what she said. Yunwu felt the people around her looking at her eyes slightly cold. This girl, in a few words, made herself the focus of the public. Is it unintentional or purposeful? A simple appearance, is it really like this on the surface? Seems to feel the displeasure of Cloud Dance, just now also chirping Girl Aleng, don't know where he said the wrong words, some ignorant looking at Cloud Dance. At this time, a middle-aged man behind the girl came forward and saluted Yunwu. Said, This young lady, my young lady just saw your skill, just want to know you, so just all the way to catch up, please don't misunderstand, we have no malice. The middle-aged man looks at his words and understands that Yunwu must be a person who doesn't want to be in the limelight, so he has this explanation. When he saw that Yunwoo's face had calmed down, he continued, "What's the name of this young lady? Do the three already have a team?" As soon as these words came out, Yunwoo understood why they found themselves. "I'm afraid I started to let them see it before, so I know my strength, so I found myself. No matter how powerful the city master is, he still has to worry about the master. In the tomb left by the legendary summoner, no matter how powerful they are, they have to be careful." Cloud Dance saw the wood of nearby Xiao Ming and Lin Yuntong one eye, see them both a pair of casual appearance, then say to the middle-aged man, "Have no." A middle-aged man is relieved. He has just seen the strength of Cloud Dance, and the two people around her can keep up with her speed, so the strength is not low. If we can get the help of these three people, I'm afraid this operation can increase a lot of security. All the way to catch up, for fear that they joined other teams. "In Xiaohulan, would you like to join us?" the middle-aged man asked again. As soon as the quiet girl heard the invitation, she quickly jumped out again, and I, my name is Hulinger, the second daughter of the Lord of Huisher Town. I'm not weak at the moment. I won't hold back. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.